Hey folks, it's Dave back here in Studio CJ. We'll call it Studio CJ for my buddy, Studio CJ. And I was gonna play something tonight, and I'm just beat. So I figured I'd come on and see what you guys are playing. Let's do that. Let's talk about what you guys are playing. We ended up, as I told you, it was just working all weekend, including having to put our dog to sleep because he got really sick. And last night, after I worked two jobs, and we went out to dinner, pigged out. I did. I'm not gonna lie. We pigged out. We went to one of the nicer places here in town. I think we've been going there for years. And I got the scallops and the prime rib, and it comes with this salad bar and bread. And I did. I was bad. I was really bad. I need to stop that. But I was like, you know something, I'm gonna eat tonight. This between working and my poor buddy, we went out and just did that. And then today we had my mother-in-law's 90th birthday party. 90 years old. And I don't know if it's exactly today, but it's 90 years old. And they I don't know who. I think it was my brother-in-law. It must have been her son. Rented out this pretty interesting. I don't want to say exclusive place, but it's a function hall, and we had a little room to ourselves, and we had about 30 or 40 people there, and we had it all done up from soup to nuts. We had the cheese and the crackers and the bread and the salad, and then they brought out the main meal, and there was some beef and chicken and pasta and roasted potatoes and all that stuff, and then they brought out the dessert. Then we had cake, and it's like so 2 days in a row. I really picked it. I haven't had anything. I didn't really eat much today after last night, and then I don't know when I'm going to need to eat again, but I need to stop that eating. But I guess that's what you do in times of need, right? You go for comfort food, you go for comforting things, and that's what we did. And so I come home tonight, and I just been kind of a bowl of Jello. Not gonna lie, I was watching some YouTube, and then I said I'm gonna come downstairs and play something. Even if I don't stream, I'm gonna play something. I'm looking around like, what do I want to play? It's like, do I want to play something simple that I know, or do I really want to think about things? I says no, I don't feel like thinking tonight. I says I'm just gonna just chill out here. So I cracked open a nice new cream soda, and I says, well, let me come on and see what you guys are playing. So that's kind of what this is. Like, what are you playing? Because I know what I'm playing is not much. And I almost pulled out something tonight, but I didn't want to pull out the same old, same old. And I wasn't sure how much of an attention span I could get. You ever just been that tired? Like today was actually a day off. I guess you could consider today a day off. Although I did 3 hours of computer work this morning, so I guess it wasn't a day off. If 3 hours of work on the computer is not a day off, so I guess it wasn't a day off, partial day off. And so I figured I'd come on and see what you guys are playing. Maybe you guys will give me some inspiration to play something or try something different or whatever it is. I did my unboxing last night, and I still got the cards right here next to me that I haven't done anything with yet, obviously, because I just unboxed them last night. And I was like, I'm not really sure I want to get in a full game of APA tonight. I'm not really sure if I want to do APA hockey, APA football. It's like this a little bit long. Then I thought about some Action PC. And then I almost pulled out. I went into Steam and I almost pulled out my puzzle game where I just play a puzzle. I almost did that, and I was like, I don't know, because some people saying play something different, so that would have been different. And I almost still pulled out the puzzle game, and I says, let me just come on and chat with you guys and see how you guys are doing and what's going on with you guys. So yeah, so for me, it was just working this weekend, going out to eat. 90th birthday party, man, 90. That was wild. Seeing some people you haven't seen in a while, as these things go, right? As these things go, you see some people that we joked about it today. There's one of her relatives, all her side, her relatives, and I was like, geez, when's the last time we've seen this group together? And it's like weddings and funerals. He was exactly right. It's like, yep, the last time I saw these people was a funeral. I think it was the 90th, her mom, the 90th birthday party. I think it was her brother. I think her brother died in a car accident 5 or 6 years ago, and he was out west, and they had the funeral here for him. And that's the last time I really saw everybody was on his funeral. And so that is that. So yeah, we laughed about funerals and weddings, and it is kind of the truth. That's when you see all the relatives. because it starts off. You see people at Christmas once in a while, right? But then what happens at Christmas is the kids that were kids grow up and get married, and then they go on their way with their kids. So the whole nucleus of Christmas changes because now it's like, well, this group ain't coming and that group ain't coming, and so the Christmas dynamic changes because I used to see that group of people, every Christmas, and then as the kids went from being kids, and they grew up and they got their own life going on, then that core group stopped getting together. It's kind of what it was. I'm gonna open a window here real quick. I turned up the heat too. Ever since, he passed away. He used to like it cold down here, so I didn't keep it, and I did too. So I didn't really change that. Let me hang on. Let me kill the heat. He used to like it kind of cool down here, so I would keep it cool for him. Um, so, oh, one other thing. Let's talk about socks. All right, so let's talk about socks. So, I was getting ready to go today to the party. I was working down here. I said, let me shower and get dressed. And I says it was really cold out today, and they said we were down on the water, and they said you got to walk around the building to get in. Now I had never been on that part of the building. I always go in the main door to this function place, and I'd never been around the left side. But it was cold, so they're like dress warm because you're going to be coming around the corner to get in. So I was getting dressed and I found some socks. I said, well, I'll dress up. I put on my bright blue tie, and I put on shirt or whatever, and I says, well, I'll wear some black socks instead of my usual white ones, and I'll put on some black shoes. So I just look nice, right? And I found these socks, and I was like, oh, I don't know whose socks these are. I mean, I don't remember buying these, but I bought a whole bunch of black socks to look nice, and some were warmer than others. And I put them on. I'm like, these are the most comfortable socks I've ever put on. They're warm, they're cushiony, they're so nice. I think they're my wife's socks, and I could be wrong because I says I don't remember buying these, but they are so comfortable. They ain't coming off today, and I still got them on right now, and they're just the most comfortable socks I've ever worn. So I got to go and look at the brand and see if I have any more or if they're indeed her socks, and I stole her socks. But they fit me and they come all the way up. Then they're nice and warm. So you ever done that? You ever put on someone else's, your partner's clothes by mistake? And you're like, oh, this ain't so bad. It's mostly socks and shirts and jackets and stuff. But yeah, that happens once in a while. So Barbara comes by. Thanks for coming by. Vinny, good to see you, Vin. And Larry as well. And Ron says he likes the hat. Yeah, I put this. It's so puffy. It feels like it's it's a Texas hat, right? So it feels like it's a 10-gallon hat. If I take this off, look how high that is. It goes so high. I wasn't expecting that. I like the low profile ones because I'm a low profile type of guy. And this sticks way up. This sticks way up. Yeah, 90 years old, right? She's still doing okay. I mean, she gets confused, as older people do, and she'll call you the wrong name. But she knew me today. She's like, Dave, when you coming up to see me? It's like, I know, I've been working. Bernie comes by, and Ty, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a weird day. This is kind of like our first full day without the dog. And even now, it's like I'm still looking over here, like, where is he? And even when I come downstairs, because he would come downstairs and hang out by himself. And I'm walking down the stairs, and I'm coming over to my desk over here, and I'm like, he would always come out and greet me, and it's not there. That's the stuff. It's the little things like that, when I come home and he's not there to greet me. And then I sit upstairs on the couch, and I could hear him coming up the stairs to come and say hi. And then you see a little tail wagging, and that's not there, And then just all the things I do during the day. I'm washing the dish, I look out, no, he's not in the yard. Then we come home and he's not only is it not there to greet me, but he usually would go to the back door. We'd let him out, and I'd turn on the light and make noise to scare the rabbits away. So the rabbits he couldn't catch. He would chase rabbits. So I'd be like whistling and making noise, and he could see the rabbits, and they'd like dart away as he went out in the yard. And all that's gone. All that's gone. All that daily interaction with him is gone, and it's kind of sad. It does. It's very sad. But it's something, like I say, if you have animals, we've all gone through it, and it really does kind of stick. Sorry, I'm closing my window now. And so, yeah, so it's just been a big adjustment over here. And, we're still pretty sad about it. But thank you so much, Ty. Bernie says he's playing Appa Golf Masters. That's one thing I need to get back to. I need to get back to the Appa Golf. And that's something I'll take care of in the spring and the summer. Because things will be slowing. I keep saying things are slowing down. And I'm supposed to be working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on top of my other jobs. Because these are all the playoff games that are stacking up. I'm like, dude, when does this end? Really, when does this end? But when it's like you're looking at train tracks. It's like, oh, it's getting closer, it's getting closer, it's getting closer. But as you walk down the tracks stay the same distance apart. It doesn't. It's like the goalposts are moving. It's like I'm running toward the end zone, and the goalpost keeps going back. It's like, oh, come on, I want to, end this season here. But when that ends, I got a whole bunch of things planned. Appa Golf is one of them. I want to get back to that. Even if I just play a basic mode, or if I kind of play it the Dave way, I want to get back to Appa Golf because I really wanted to enjoy that game, and it didn't quite work out. Vinny, you're into that matchup college football. Yeah, I know that. I was just talking to ST today. He's trying to get his videos up and running for that, and we'll have him on here on the channel as well and talk about that game. I'm going to be playing that again in May in Connecticut, and we're going to get ST with his game, and I'm going to sit down with him and play some of that. Like I told you, I really want to do more game playing, and I want to talk to everybody, and I want to hang out in the whole bit, but I did a lot of interviewing and a lot of recording and reporting, and I'll still do that. So that's what I did in Ohio, but I really do want to kind of make this a gaming event. So I'm kind of thinking what I'll do is what I did in Colorado is I'll put the camera on and show the room and leave that feed going as long as I can so people can kind of see what's going on, and they can, we'll have Ron on and we'll see if we can get him on the big screen, and so you can wave hi to Ron and maybe even put on the headset and talk to Ron if you want. If all goes well, that's the plan. But I can just leave a live feed going so I don't necessarily have to be there the whole time reporting. I can talk to people and play some games and, things like that. That's the one thing I wish I did more of, was more game playing than I did reporting, so to speak, and interviewing. Now, great, don't get me wrong. This is the first time I met a lot of people. It's great having them on and talking. But I think next time I'll set aside certain times for interviews, and then other times just to kind of let the feed run so you can kind of get a bird's eye view. And Vinny's also playing Glory Days Boxing. I'm not a boxing guy, so I haven't done that. Hey, Appa, I played my 7th ever Dynasty League baseball game today. That's another one I want to try. In fact, we're supposed to get Mike on the show, and Mike's going to run me through that, setting it up. And then at some point, we're going to do the cards and dice version. But I want to do the PC version first so I have an idea how the game plays. David comes by. He's playing the 76 Jets and Browns in 4th Street. Namath just threw a pick at the Browns 13. I haven't done the 4th Street yet. I haven't played any of the 4th Street games. I tried the hockey game on the computer, and I was completely lost. So I didn't do anything with that. Vinny's also playing Fury Football. I have that, and I enjoyed it, and I got away from it, and it kind of like fell to the bottom of the pile. But I was playing that, having some fun with it. What I did actually, Vinny, with Fury Football is, so I have the original, 4 teams or 6 teams that come with the game, something like that, or 8, I forget what it is. So what I was going to do is I was going to play everybody twice, because the games play pretty quick, get my standings, have a championship, and then I bought the expansion, one of the expansion sets. And what I was going to do is kind of come up with some sort of way to roll dice to expand the league type of thing. In other words, I would take like the 8 franchises I have and roll dice to see if they, A, stay in the league, or B, maybe move, or C, drop out. And I'd probably weight it. The more successful the team, the more chances that they'll stay as is. And then the bottom teams that really stink, maybe they would move to another city, or they would drop out. And then I would roll to see how many new teams I would bring in. Am I bringing in 2, 4, 6, 8, into the fold, and roll for that. And I thought about, just making it kind of a fun little game like that. So a game within the game. So I was going to play that, because the Fury Football is kind of fun, and it is very fictional. We kind of figured the name it there. I always type too fast too, and I screw it up. Banking on the money. Thanks for coming by. Things are okay. Been a very, up and down weekend between, the dog and then my mother-in-law's 90th birthday party. That was something else. And Scott's playing some classic grids. So Scott, I need to get back to the baseball so you can keep track of the strikeouts. I used to like when you were posting the Ks in the chat room every time we had a strikeout. And you would try to guess how many strikeouts that, Nolan Ryan or whoever would get. That was some good times. I need to get back to that. But you're playing some classic Grid Zone. Now Grid Zone, help me out here. Now that's a fictitious football type of game. Grid Zone is kind of like it's a football game, but it's not football. It's kind of like almost like a Fury football, right? It's football-esque, but it's like an alternate version of football. I think that's what Grid Zone is, right? It's not a regular football game, I don't think. Jeff wants to come by and say hello. He's been playing the app of Master Game. He's so much freaking fun. Yeah, I almost played that tonight, Jeff, but I haven't played it probably in 3 or 4 weeks now, and I'm probably rusty. And I just didn't have the mental capacity tonight to sit and try to and remember how to play that. I almost played Appa Basic tonight, and even that was a little too much for me. Just tired, just really tired today, especially after that meal. Oh my gosh, we ate so much today. It's at 9:40 here. We ate at 2:00, 2:30, and I'm still like full. That's how much I had. Let's see here. And Ty's been playing a lot of Grid Zone Turf War. Okay. Money's playing. I'm playing some non-sports games this week. Gonna tackle the sample for season ticket football in April. Yeah, I think season ticket football is fun. I like season ticket football. I really do. I haven't played it a lot lately, but I really do like it, and I want to get it back here on the channel. Jeff says 81's a fun season to play. That's the season that didn't finish, or they had a break in the middle. It was kind of weird. I think I have that for payoff pitch. I have a payoff pitch. And yeah, that might be a fun one to play because I think it's busted up. And the results are uncanny. Yeah, because it's really hard to judge that. Now he wants to play 1994, and he'll be getting an unboxing on his YouTube channel later today. Now, 94. Oh, are you playing? Is that football or baseball? I think you play both, I think. So I'm not sure which one you're talking about there. I just got the 94. Just unboxed that. I should have my envelopes on the way. So I'll have another unboxing for my envelopes. A Steeler fan comes by. Michael, I got your package. Okay, it's sitting over here behind me. I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. But I will be checking that out and showing off what's in that package here this week, hopefully this week. But I will be getting to that. So don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just been a whirlwind over here of things happening. So, but I did get it, and I will be opening that pretty soon and taking a look and showing people what we got. Yeah, the socks, they might have been the wife's. They might have been the wife's socks. And socks are great as we get older. There's nothing like putting on a pair of socks that just fits like a glove, And I have all these socks. The old joke, I'm rearranging my sock drawer. I did that a couple months ago, and I was throwing out some of the socks that I just didn't like or didn't wear. Because I got two of them. I got the short ones for the summer that just go over your ankles. And in the winter, I got the ones that come up, the calf or whatever it is to keep your legs a little bit warmer for the winter. But these ones here, I put them on. I don't know what brand they are. I don't know if they're hers. I don't know if they're mine. They could be mine. Because I bought a whole bunch of black socks so I could wear warm black socks to wear to the rink so I could look nice and still be warm. So this could be them, but I just don't remember because I had mine in one hand that I know were mine. There was some, I don't know if they were Nikes or whatever they were. I was like, okay, Dickies or something. So okay, I know I bought these, but these, feel how soft these are. Oh yeah. I put them on. I was like, oh yeah, these are staying on my feet. There's nothing like putting on some nice socks. When I go to the hockey rink and I skate, if I do one thing after the game is I change my socks. I need to put on nice dry socks. It feels so nice. And yes, I was talking to Replay Gamer today. Replay Gamer is back. I'm going to get him back here on the channel too. I told him I'm going to drag him back onto the internet. So Replay Gamer is back. I was talking with him today. He actually posted a channel update and he posted a video. He's playing some Fall Classic, I think it was. So I want to talk to him about some of the games he was playing. Because he played some Appa Master too, and he was loving it. It's like, I don't know about this Replay Gamer. But I got the Appa Master, and I really like it. And yes, you share sweatshirts in the winter. Yep, that's what we do. And this channel is going in the new direction. Look at that. We got the heels, the lipstick, the dress. Welcome to the channel here. You never know what I'm going to start wearing on this channel. You never know. Who knows? Actually, she's a t-shirt wearer like me. So if I wore her stuff, you would never know. Maybe I'm wearing it now. You never know. Yes, 90 years. Imagine that. And yeah, it's losing a pet it takes a long time. As I'm catching up on some of the chat here, Dwayne comes by. Dwayne, I was actually listening to you play some Appa earlier tonight. I like watching the people play Appa right now. That's kind of my thing. So I watch the people that play that. So it's fun. If you haven't gone over, if you like Appa baseball, go over to Dwayne Martz's channel and check out his channel there. He plays a lot of Appa on his channel, Appa baseball usually. Dwayne, do you play any Appa hockey or Appa football? You kind of strictly a baseball guy. I never really asked you about that. Jeff says, I remember how hot it was after one of his dogs passed and how quiet the house was. Yeah, that's the thing. He was a noisy dog. He was only like 28 pounds, but when he walked around the house, you could hear him. And when he went up and down the stairs, you could hear him. And then when he barked, you heard him all right. So he would be downstairs here, and then someone would come in and be like, bark, 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 and he would go flying up the stairs, And so that's the stuff you miss, And I'm hoping that he enjoyed the life we had. And we looked out in the yard. We have a decent sized backyard. It's not huge, but I don't know how big it is, but it's I don't think you could quite fit a hockey rink back there, but you could fit 3/4 of a hockey rink back there. And he had the whole yard to himself. Or any of the other dogs we have, they ran around the yard. And when he had his buddies over, they played and ran. And we'd have people over and sit in the yard in the summertime and watch them run. And so yeah, we tried to give him a good life. And the more I think about his condition, the less bad I feel about, the events of Friday night. He really was in bad shape and didn't want him to suffer anymore. Yes, you like this, Ray? I just got the new, these here are new. I just bought these because I had worn these for so long. The ear cups wore out. And so I bought some new ones and a nice cushy. The only thing is that I get some feedback now. I don't know why I get feedback once in a while. But they're nice and cushiony. They fit different, though. Corey, good to see you, Corey. You're playing the new Sniper Elite game. I enjoyed some of those. I enjoyed some of the Sniper Elite games back in the day. Is that the one that does the slow motion camera that follows the bullet and it goes through the person? It was kind of gory, but at the same time, it was fun. At the 90th birthday party today, we were talking to some of who would be my wife's niece and nephew, who are probably late 20s, early 30s right now. I mean, again, you're talking about kids now. They're all grown up. And one of them's married, and her niece, we were talking to her, and she's like, I have this whole gaming setup. And look, and she's like showing me pictures of her gaming setup and all the monitors and the whoop-de-doos and the computer. Oh, she's like, I play Destiny, and I play, Grand Theft Auto, and I play these other games, and I run Discords. And it was like, well, pretty kind of cool. It was cool. So we got chatting video games for a while today. And, of course, I'm telling her that I really liked the Skyrim. That was my favorite one, I think. And then The Witcher 3 was really fun. That's one of these things, if you could ever, stop time, but just say, okay, I'm going to freeze time, and I'm just going to play a game, and it's not going to count towards my life. I can just stop time today. Everything stops. I don't get hungry or thirsty, and I can just sit and play a game. I would go back and play The Witcher 3 again. I just enjoyed that, the adventure of it, the little jobs that you did and exploring the map. I really enjoyed The Witcher 3. But I don't think I'd have the time right now in my life to go back and replay that again. But if I could stop time, I would go back and play that again. That was so fun. Skyrim you can pick up and just play little bits and pieces. I put it back on my wish list here so I could actually play it on the computer some night. And maybe you guys could watch me play, whatever. I don't know. I have it on the consoles, but I just don't play the consoles as much anymore. But someone suggested that to me. Actually, more than one person suggested, because I was talking about, in one of my chats, what would you guys like to see? And I think, I don't know if it was a Patreon or if it was a channel member chat that I did. And some people want to see some different things besides sports. So I think I'll throw some of those on there. This spring or summer, whenever I can find some time here, maybe even in April, I'm going to run down all the Sega Genesis hockey games. It's a project I've been wanting to do for a long time. And now I have the technology to do it. And so I'm going to try to, and you've seen the picture over here I got of all the Sega hockey games. I have every single one. And there's a lot of them. There's more than you think. And I'm going to run down every single one and play a few minutes and show it off and see what it looks like. And it's a little series of video games I've always wanted to do. And this year I think I'm going to do it. That's going to be on my list to play. And I'm going to be like, let's do this. Let's get this going, and get this project done, because they're all a little different, and there's some little quirks about them, and some look exactly the same, but they don't play the same. So I need to get that going and get that series going. So that's going to be a fun series here. Steeler fan says, I've been learning between the boards indoor soccer. That I've not heard of. I've not heard of indoor soccer. And is that the MISL? Interesting. Jeff says he needs and wants to get back to Apple football. And my unboxing the other night made me want to break out my cards and play some football on the table. Yeah, I love that game. Again, it takes a long time to play, but I don't care. What was it? Last Wednesday night, I had a break in the action, and we were supposed to record the podcast. We're behind on that, and that's my fault. Ron did the last podcast solo, and I'm like, Ron, I don't know when I'm gonna find some time here and or have some energy to do it. And we were gonna do it Wednesday night, and we were talking. He goes, go play something, because you haven't played anything in a long time, and you got some seasons to play, and you got some games to play something. So I says, all right, I will. So I pulled out. I told Barbara I would play the Jets for her. So I played the Houston Oilers at the New York Jets, 1981. That's the game I played here on the channel. Fun time. We had a safety. We almost had two safeties. Earl Campbell got stuffed in the end zone. That was fun. Was it Richard Todd and Ken Stabler, Kenny Burrows? Was it Freeman McNeil and Scott Dirkling and Wesley Walker, I think, were the guys. And just all those names from 1981. Fun time. Played the game. Took me, between setting, I did the whole setup and everything here. It was like 3 hours, and I didn't care. I had such a good time Wednesday night. I could have played that game all night. If it took me 8 hours, I wouldn't have cared. That's how much fun I have with Apple football. And there was a couple of people today, we were talking on Facebook about, different football games and what plays a little bit faster. And I was like, for me, speed really doesn't matter when it comes to playing a full play football game, because some play a little quicker than others and some takes a little bit longer. But for me, if I'm going to sit down and play a full play football game, if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. I know what I'm in for. I'm not looking to play this in record time. I want to play the game and enjoy it. And I think I have 5 or 6 full play games that I enjoy playing, and they all take me a couple of hours to play, and I don't care. One of them takes, again, maybe an hour 45. But it doesn't make me want to play the game because it's fast. There's some things about that game I really enjoy, so I will play that from time to time too. I got so many that I enjoy. And so much you can do. You can do so much with a lot of games. That's the thing about it. You really can. Mike comes by. Good to see you, Mike. Going through when I went through the leak in the room, they found old asbestos tile. Now I have to wait for an abatement. Yikes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had tiles down here, and no one ever said that they were what they were. So if they were asbestos, well, they're all buried now. But we had a guy here when he went over the tile, and he would have known. He would have said, hey, because we were kind of replacing tiles or filling in. He would have spotted that. This guy was really good, so I'm pretty sure that I don't have that. And if I do, well, it's too late now because it's all underneath, and that's the way it is. But yeah, having a leak stinks. It really does. Alan, good to see you, Alan. Started playing Big Bep hockey, 75, 76. I tried the Big Bep. It reminds me a little bit of Status Pro. And where you shoot from the different zones. I think that's how that game was. It didn't grab me. I might want to give it another try. I think I might. And it does flow well, constantly compares offense to defense, intimidation, etc. Maybe I will. Because when I tend to go back and try a game again, when I give a game a second chance, we talk about second chances, I usually do like it the second time around. And that's kind of been my experience. There has been times that I've gone back to games and I'm playing the game and I said, oh yeah, that's why I don't play this game. This one thing or this one or two things about this game that it just drives me nuts. And it's enough to not want to play the game. Or at least not play as much as the other games. So every now and then I go back to a game and I'm like, why didn't I like this? Or why don't I play this all the time? And then it's like, oh, that's right. That's what it does. It's like, so sometimes I go back to a game and I find out, yeah, that's that's why I don't play it. But a lot of times I go back and I will like it, you know. Brian comes by. Hi, Brian. Good to see you. And Steeler fan is playing the 87-88 Baltimore Blast and your Cleveland Force. Nice. Very nice. Grid Zone or Turf War is fictional 7-on-7. Okay. And Gary did the 1980 NFL season. That's kind of neat. Yeah, okay. Grid Zone or Turf War is fictional. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Where else are we? Currently playing fictional college project with Highlight Maker Hoops. I almost pulled the trigger on that. I did. That's one I wanted to get, and I just didn't get on Black Friday because, hang on. You know, as you do on Black Friday, or as I do, I will, start with some of the games I really want and then work my way down. And then I'll put a whole bunch of things in a cart and I'll look at the price and I'll hem and I'll haw. And then something will come out of nowhere and I'll put that in a cart and I'll buy that. And then I'll be looking, it's like, man, I've already bought this and I've already bought that and I've already bought this. It's like, I really got to tone it down. It says, I'm going to save some things for another day. Instead of buying it all at once, you know, like this guy here, this guy, Michael, he buys all at once, you know. He finances his stuff. It's like buying a car. He went down his Black Friday list. I don't think he's done yet. I think he's still going over it, telling me what games he got. I like to save some things if I can for another time, and that's one that I do plan on getting at some point. Where else are we here? In the chat room here. And so, yeah, so I already got it. I got it in the other day, too. And I just haven't had a chance to get to it. I've just been kind of bouncing around from work to work to work. And, okay, Jeff says he's playing, as I'm catching up with the chat. I'm sorry, I'm way behind on the chat here. He's 81 with baseball and football. He's going to be getting 99 for 99 baseball. And he's going to play the last 50 games that got wiped out by the strike. Okay. That makes sense. And, the Rangers, they had a quick game. Yeah, Bruins got shut out, too. You know? Bob, good to see you. He's going to do the Colorado Rockies, inaugural 1993 season with APA. I'll be honest with you, Bob. The Colorado Rockies will always be a hockey team to me. I will not recognize them as a baseball team. Sorry, but as a 70s hockey guy, the Colorado Rockies will always be a hockey team to me. And I know the Red Sox beat them in the World Series, too. I still wouldn't acknowledge them as a baseball team. I'll call them Colorado, but I'm not calling them Colorado Rockies. That's just kind of what I do. I'm weird like that. Let's see. Mr. Bassman. Slapping the bass. I've been meaning to dig up my bass and play. I've been watching a lot of music videos on YouTube again. People playing bass now, watching guys play. It's like I get the itch. You know what I've been watching? They just released a Rockman pedal. And the Rockman was it guy from Boston, not Brad Delp. Who was the guitar player from Boston? And I'm drawing a blank for his name now. Oh man, I'll think of it in a second. But the guitar player from Boston developed this device, which was an effects thing for your guitar, and it made you sound like Boston. And I actually had it in the 90s. I bought it and played it, but I was like, I don't want to sound like Boston all the time. So I think I sold it and bought a distortion pedal. Brad Schultz. Is it Brad? Not Schultz. Schultz is his name. Scholtz. I think that's his name. I forget his first name now. That'll come to me. So he created this Rockman thing, and somehow they've recreated it as a pedal. And they said that the original Rockman was used by Def Leppard to record that album, that huge album that they did. Forget the name of it now, but that's if you want to play that album, you get the Rockman and you sound like that album. It's like that's what it is. That's what they used, and it's all the EQ is all done, and just I think Love Bites, that album there. Ding 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 ding. It's that little mellow one that's got a clean tone. You want to play that album, you get the pedal. So I've been watching a lot of people play that. Part of me thought about getting it, but again, I haven't played guitar in so long. I would probably really stink, So, Jeff said, he's intrigued about the '94 football season. I was too. I grabbed it. I'm a little bummed out that the cards were were cut a little close to the edge. Like the numbers were shifted over here. They weren't cut off, but they were close. I was kind of bummed out. And some of the corners weren't perfect. And I don't want to be too much of a stickler, but sometimes like the APA cards were always great. That whole row was all like perfectly cut, perfectly centered. And this one here wasn't really. I did the unboxing. I showed a bunch of cards, and the corners weren't that great, and the numbers were off to the side. It's just aesthetics, But they were always so tight. Their cards are so tight. All right. So what were they? What were the 5 things that you did, Michael? I want to know. I would have no problem listing 5. I could list you 500 things I've done at my job. I'm not even a government worker. I don't think it's such a bad thing that he's trying to flush out the waste. Just my honest opinion. There's nothing worse than, I don't make a lot of money over here myself, and to ask me to pay taxes so someone can have a no-show job to make twice as much as me, that bothers me. I want to make sure that if you're going to make twice as much as me or 3 times as much as me, that you're doing something for that money, and you're not just somebody's brother or sister or cousin that just gets to sit home and play video games and get a government check. So I'm okay with checking that. A lot of that's in the city too, like the cities here. Everyone's families got the family members working uptown, making a lot of money and not doing much, and and then we can't plow the roads or we can't fix the roads. No, you can. If you get rid of all these people that aren't doing anything all day long, you'll have plenty of money to fix the roads. So okay, that's my rant, and I'm done. I know. Imagine that. Imagine 90 years, guys only live in the mid-70s. So I'm not thinking I don't think my doctor one time says, I think you could make it into your 90s. I'm like, I'm going to run out of money in my 90s, in what world? I can't believe watching play APA NFL card dice has got me wanting to play. I hate the NFL these days. Well, that's why I play the older seasons. And the other great thing about when you're buying seasons, especially with individual cards, the older seasons have less teams, less players, so they're a little bit cheaper than the newer seasons, which have 32 teams or whatever it is. Back in the day, you didn't have that many teams, and so it was a little cheaper, and they didn't have quite the turnover that they have nowadays. Who was it that said was it last year's White Sox or this year's White Sox had like 60 players on the roster? Was that what somebody said? So if you're going to get that baseball season, all the extra cards for the White Sox are going to, you're going to need to take a second mortgage on your house just to pay that, from what I hear. But yeah, I play the older stuff. You do. Although I will say that there's a couple of newer seasons. By newer seasons, I mean like 10 years ago. To me, that's new. 10 years ago. Anything past 2000 is new for me. That I almost got the Super Bowl teams or the World Series teams, but I held off because Jucket's like, you might want to get that whole season. I'm like, why? Why do you do this to me, Jucket? Why do you do that to me? I don't know. And let's see what else is going on here in the chat room. Okay, Dwayne says mostly baseball. He still has the APA saddle racing. That's kind of like a horse racing, right? I see some people that have that. You get APA boxing, huh? And APA basketball. I wish they would look into that again. There's a big joke about that, but yeah. Yes, yeah, that's the one, Dave, and yes, world, but I do suck at it. Okay, I forget what we were talking about, Corey, there, but we were talking about some video games back in the day. What were you talking about, Corey? What game was that we were just talking about with you? Sniper Elite. Okay, Sniper Elites. I still like it. I tried to play it, I don't know, 6 months or a year ago, and it was okay. You have to have a lot of patience with that game. What I liked about that, there was one I played, but I think the second one, like the first one is at night, and it was a little bit easier. The second one, you're in the day, so you used to have to hide in the bushes. And there was like 40 people on this map, and you had to get somewhere. And I mean, you could try to crawl around the grass, which taking forever, or you could try to pick people off, but you had to be quiet about it because you didn't have a silencer. So you had to time it with noise Like they had a bell that was ringing or a plane that would go overhead. You have to time it just right, and then you'd have to go and take the body and move it away. So, trying to do that 30 times, it took hours, but it was still fun. I enjoyed the stealthiness of that. Let's see. In my unboxing video, Leroy Jenkins. That was a running joke. I didn't know what Leroy Jenkins was. And probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, I was playing some, maybe less than that. I was playing some Ghost Recon with some friends of mine. And one guy just kept running in and dying. And so when I went over to one of my other friend's house, he was like, he's got a Leroy Jenkins. Like, what's Leroy Jenkins? He showed me the video, and since this day, I just been cracking up and peeing my pants every time I hear Leroy Jenkins. So we'd be playing a buddy, he would go die. He'd just go Leroy Jenkins. That is still such a classic. It really is. I laugh now. I'm laughing now when I hear Leroy Jenkins because it's something we've all done. We're like, enough planning. Let's just play. Let's just go in and just blow some things up, Gandalf said he would play Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't like that. I put in a lot of hours into RD2. And I just didn't like it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the first mission walking through the snow took you an hour to walk through the snow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just to get to the cabin. Red Dead 1, I liked. I really liked Red Dead Redemption 1. I thought it was fun on the horses, getting rounding up the cattle or whatever it was. And, getting the coyotes out of the chicken house and stuff like that. And, jumping on the train. I played that all the way through, played the whole game. The ending was very sad, but I played Red Dead 1, really liked it. And then when I got 2, I was all excited about it, and I hated it. Right out of the gate, I hated it. And I remember being on the Game Hounds podcast talking about how I hated it, but I kept going back because, I bought it. I can't trade it in, so I kept going back, and I got pretty far in it, and it was okay, but there was enough things in that game that drove me nuts. The idea that you had to keep grooming and feeding and watering your horse is like, that stuff I don't want to get into that minutia. And then you couldn't fast travel back. All the other games, you get to a place, let me fast travel back to camp. No, you have to ride all the way back or take a wagon. It's like, I don't want to ride across the whole map. So there was enough things in that game that bothered me from keeping that a really good one, And that's on the PS5. You see, I don't have that. And I probably never will. And, okay, this is a little earlier. Yeah, Jeff, bring on the Sega hockey. Yep, I have a whole bunch of them here. I'm going to play those and dissect it a little bit, show you what you can do with them on the Sega Genesis hockey game. Something I always wanted to do. And, again, it's more just for myself than anything. I don't do a ton of video games anymore, but maybe that'd be fun to do. Duffer Man coming by. Let's see here. Barbara's got all those systems. I don't know. I think she does have a 5. I'm not sure. And that football game, the 1 yard line. Yeah, I was talking to Juckett the other day about the Houston Jets game I played here on the channel, and the thing is, it's just when you're done playing half of football, it just feels like such a football game, as stupid as it sounds. And not that other games don't, okay, because they all do in their own way. But just as something about APA football that when I'm done a game, I get stories to tell about this game. So the Jets in that game, Richard Todd hit Wesley Walker for 47 yards from the 48. He's tackled at the 1, right? So I try to run it in, and the Jets guy fumbles the ball on the 1. So it's stuff like that happens. It turned out that I think I got a safety off of that one there. And then the Jets punter rolled a 66 and put it out at the 1. That might have been the safety that I'm thinking about. Because twice in a row, Houston had the ball on their 1. And one time they got a safety, one time Stabler dumped it off to the back. Because I said, I'm going to go short pass. He dumped it off to the back, and I got a really weird roll, and it was a touchdown, but with a flag. So I was like, well, if I can get the penalty on the defense, it's a 99-yard touchdown pass. And it was illegal formation on the offense, so bring it back. But it's still stuff you talk about, and it's just all that 99-yard pass gone. because it was a flag. It just you get done playing that. Say what you will about having too many cards and how expensive it is and how long it takes to play and this, that, and the other thing. But boy, oh boy, I feel you get such a football experience with that. And where else are we here? Let's see. And yeah, that football game was fun. I enjoyed that. I'll be doing more of that. I'll be doing more of everything once I get into April or late March. 81 is a fun football season. Yes, it is. Cutter comes by, itching to go for his PC Replay Baseball quarterfinals. Nice. He's playing some 1906 baseball and 1908. He's got the Cubs and the Cubs. I'm putting my money on the Cubs. That's what I'm going to do. Let me see. Sean says he wants to try some Red Dead Redemption 2. You might like it. I had a hard time with it. I have a hard time with those games now. Although I was on Steam tonight and I saw they have a big sale on like the Assassin's Creed games, and I was like, oh man, I used to love those and just kind of exploring, and that's the great thing about some of those games. I don't know if they're still this way, but you had these adventure games where you had things you had to do, right? So it's like you got to go and whatever you're doing in the game, there's an overall storyline. And then all these little side missions splinter off that you can, bolster your character, upgrade your skill or whatever it is. But then woven in the game, aside from all those little splinter side quests, is, there's things to find. Like you needed to find like the golden eagles or the golden bowls, or, you had caves to explore and, find ancient manuscripts. And there's all these little things here, to go and find, whatever they were that you needed to get. And a lot of games did that. And it was fun because, like, okay, I got 20 out of the 30 golden bowls that I found, or I got 15 out of the 20 manuscripts, and so that was a whole different. So you could spend hours and hours and hours in these worlds that were gorgeous, just trying to check boxes of things that you find, and then maybe if you put those clues together, you would get a reward or something like that. So I enjoyed the heck out of those games, and I always put Assassin's Creed into my my wish list here, but I don't know. Might be kind of a nice change of pace to do stuff like that here. I'm not sure. Cutter says he's getting the ASG golf, and then he's going to do some tennis. Pretty cool. And Vinny comes and says, speed of games is a luxury, for lack of a better word. Fun is the main thing. Yeah, I would agree. Although I will say that, as much fun as I have playing Apple football, I know I know it's going to take me a half hour to set it up if I want to play an as-played game, and it's going to take me a couple hours to play. And if I stream it, add another half hour to 45 minutes because I'm talking and chatting and showing some things off. Excuse me. So in that case, like I would have loved to play it tonight, but I'm kind of tired, and I knew I didn't have three hours or whatever it is to play tonight. I just didn't have that in me. And so when it comes to the speed of the game or how fast you can play a game, sometimes that comes into play. It's almost like a movie. Like you never sit down in front of a TV and you're like, I got a little bit of energy. I'm not really falling asleep yet, but I don't want to be up all night. And you're on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, and you're like, what can we watch tonight? And you see this movie. This looks pretty good. Oh, it's an hour and 45 minutes? Never mind. And so then maybe you find like a TV show, and it's like, oh, half-hour episode? Perfect. So you can watch an episode or two, and if you're tired after one episode, you can be done with it. So that's kind of how I look at gaming here. Sometimes I sit down, it's like, okay, what can I do tonight? What do I have attention span for? What does my time look like? And that'll help determine what game I play. So the speed of a game does come into play a little bit, but yeah, fun is the big thing. So when I have a night and I can sit down on the Apple football, that's the most fun I'm going to have is with that game there, or other games like that. There's plenty of other football games I play. I thought about playing the Apple hockey because I can do that in about an hour and a half. And even tonight I was like, yeah, I'm a little too tired for that. So how long a game takes to play, that's part of it, but it really comes down to the fun. Because if there's a full play football game that you could do in a half hour, and you get your stats, but it didn't feel like a football game, then what's the sense? So that's always been my argument. Is people say, well, geez, these football games take forever. Yeah, Yeah, and sometimes that's a good thing because you get every snap, you get every fumble, you get every penalty, every play. You see what happens. How many times the guy drops the ball or makes the catch? Is the quarterback playing good? Do you take him out? If you play injuries, did he get injured? You get every single thing in that game. When you play a long play game, whereas other games you don't. And that's what you play it for. So you don't go into it trying to rush. Now, again, if you got 4 or 5 games and this is the fastest one and this is the longest one, yeah, then maybe that'll sway you a little bit if you get the same enjoyment out. But for me, it's about enjoyment. And the discussion today was, a couple different games. And one guy said, "Oh, this guy plays the fastest. That's why I play it." But then he also said he plays it because he enjoys the game, too. It's not just because it's the fastest. But sometimes that comes into play. It's like, what do I want to play today? Well, I'm going to play football. I want to play a long play game. Boy, this does play faster than the other ones. I'm going to give this one a try today. And I still like this one. So that was the discussion today that we had. Jeff says, for me, it's not the length of the game, it's the pace of play. I'd rather play something I enjoy for 2 hours than a game for an hour which plods along. Yep, that is too. And Big Bep says, you almost never shoot on B or C, more like puck movement to get into shot, to zone A for a shot. Okay, I do remember that. Chuck had bought me a season for that. I don't know if it was 70, 71 or 74, 75. I'll have to pull that out again, And see, Sean says, Cutter, you're lucky to be playing SG Golf. He hasn't pulled the trigger on it. It's not cheap. No, that one's not. It's not. I think I have it for the computer. I bought like the whoop-de-doo package on a Black Friday sale or something. Take care, Corey. Thanks for coming by if you're still here. Go Wild. Yeah, didn't they already beat us tonight? John comes by. Good to see you, John. How you been? Still doing the what have you been playing lately? Anything good? I'm trying to remember what you were playing the last time we talked. And yet, let's see. Bye to Corey. Where are we now? Here. I spun by some people. Keith comes by. Hi, Keith. Good to see you. Hope things are going well for you. I'm just getting caught up here in the chat. I'm a little behind here. I've been kind of yakking, kind of been all over the place today. But I kind of wanted to see what you guys are playing and maybe give me some suggestions of things you'd like to see me do here, either on the channel or just off to the side, so I can report back on what you guys have been playing or whatever. I think we're supposed to record the podcast tomorrow. We're supposed to do it today because I wasn't sure how long I'd be at the 90th birthday party. Cause sometimes you go to these things and you're just like, but I had a really good time today. There's people I haven't talked to in like 5 years. A lot of people getting older, so you don't know when you're going to see them again, if you're going to see them again. And so I tried to talk to everybody and have some fun and this and that. And it was kind of sad, though, because I pulled out my phone and the team that I broadcast was playing today, and they got a different broadcast, and he was on there. I was like, don't take my job. Don't take my job. That's my job, And he was doing a good job today. I got to say that I was listening to him. He did a good job. And so I'm like, well, I hope they don't like him better than me. So that's why I didn't want you can't make the club in the tub, as they say. So I didn't want to give up that spot today, but I just couldn't do it. And I'm glad I went to the birthday party. At least right now, I'm glad I went. If they fire me, then I won't be glad. But yeah, I can't do them all, I guess. And Jeff says, I always wanted to play the Cleveland Barons. And then play the Cleveland Barons. That's what we do. Play the Cleveland Barons. I played them so many times. I have a project that I haven't got touched in 2 or 3 years. I'm playing the Cleveland Barons in shootout hockey. And I started to keep track of that, and I was putting that on my website when I was doing that. And then I was like, I got away from that. But I want to go back and see how I could do with Cleveland. But I tend to do that. I go to the Cleveland Barons and the California Seals, and I try to play a whole season. It gets frustrating because they lose so much. So that's why I just do the one games here. Dave's Classic Rewind. That's the perfect excuse to go back and play a game and not commit. It really is. It's kind of like I can play any game I want, and I don't have to make it part of a project if I don't want. Oh, you had the Barons on the Coleco tabletop. That's interesting. So that must have been 77 or 78, right? That's kind of interesting. Bob says, I went to so many Rocky hockey games back in the day. We went to a game against the Bruins in 81 that set a penalty minute record. I wonder if this is the game, Bob. Not you brought that up. And, Tom Schultz. Okay, it's Tom Schultz. Thank you so much. We were talking about the pedal there, the Rockman pedal. There was a game in Colorado, and this must have been the game. And I want to say Jim Craig might have been the goalie. And I remember there was an altercation in the corner, and it was in Colorado. It was Boston against Colorado in Colorado. And I don't know if the Colorado guy was fighting the goalie or fighting another player, but there was a scrum in the corner, and so they're focusing in on the action in the corner, and out of nowhere, Brad Park come like Superman. He come flying in. It was like in midair, and he crushed the guy against the boards. That was either going after the goalie or going after the player. And I just was like, oh my gosh, he could have killed that guy. He could have put him through the boards, And as a kid, that's what I saw. If I saw that replay today, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. But it just felt like he just come, boom, and oh my gosh, what are you doing? So maybe that was the game because there was a lot of nastiness in that game from what I remember. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yep, Tom Schultz. Okay, yep, we got that. Hysteria. Thank you so much. Yep. Hysteria. That was the one. And so I'm gonna say, so that's the one that if you listen to the ding 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 ding, ding or whatever that album is, there, that's all done on the Rockman, and so everyone's like got this pedal now because now it's a pedal. It's not. It used to be like a little bit like the cell phone, like a little bit bigger than a cell phone, and it had a headphone jack, so you could kind of plug into it and put the headphones on and just walk around and play and sound like Boston, or that Def Leppard album. And so everyone's doing their videos on YouTube with that, and it's like, oh man, I'm getting the itch to play some music again, but this summer I'll do it. I'll have to get back to it. Oh, you're not a government employee? Then why are you getting the email? And you like the high and dry? So I drove to. John says he agrees too. Bringing on the heartbreak. Yeah. I drove to. Like I said, I've been going to New Hampshire like every day, and I want to say it was Saturday. Saturday, because I went from one rink to another Saturday, and I'm going up to New Hampshire, and it's like high and dry Saturday night. Come on the satellite radio, right? And then that night, the wife got in the car. We went out to dinner with friends, which was last night, Saturday, and I come on the radio again, and I was like, this is the second or third time I've heard this song today, because that's how much time I'm in the car. She's like, really? I said, yeah, Saturday night high and dry. It's at least the second time today I've heard it here on was it Hair Nation or Ozzy's Boneyard, whatever it was. Probably Hair Nation. I'm like, oh, come on, stop playing that. Vinny likes strictly retro except for golf and college football. I hear you. Joe comes by. Hi, Joe. I'm catching up on my chat here. I'm kind of just all over the place. Appa had PBA bowling. Interesting. Anyone playing Inside the Net Soccer by Inside Sports? I just ordered it. Going to give it a try. I have not played that. I'm not a soccer guy. I don't know any of the soccer rules or the ins and outs of that, so I can't do much with. I can't comment on that. I will say that the Inside Sports games are fun. If it plays anything like the hockey game, it should be fun. I do like the Inside Sports games. Mostly on the computer. That's one of those things where I prefer the computer over the tabletop, which a lot of other games I prefer the tabletop over the computer. Just my enjoyment. Jeff used to like the Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. It was difficult but fun. I played was it Metal Gear Solid? There was one that was on the PS4. I think it was a newer one. And it had the girl, her name was Quiet, and she didn't really talk, but you recruited her, and she was kind of like a ghost type figure, kind of weird. But she helped you in some of the missions. And you would just, hey, take out that guy, take out this guy. So she would be your sniper from certain positions while you crawled into the base or whatever. But I think it was called Metal Gear. I could be very wrong. Had the guy with the eye patch. He was the guy. He was the hero, whatever. So I played that on the PS4. Had some fun with that. Oh, Leroy Jenkins. So that was fun. And yep, they did. Leroy Jenkins was a guy that would kill himself and subsequently evolve everything on the raid in the World of Warcraft. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, Leroy Jenkins. I'm behind on the chat. I do apologize. I'm behind on the chat. And Barbara says she didn't like Red Dead. Yep. And let's see. Where else are we here? Oh, and Barbara did get the PS5 after Carl passed away. Okay. And your PS4 died on. Oh, you must be playing it a lot. We never had a problem with that. We did pretty well with our PS4s, but we were the Xbox 360 guys. That was our favorite console. We played most of that. All the zombies and stuff we did with that. PS4 was fun. Xbox One, I think it was I got, but we never did anything with that. But the PS4 we had some fun with. And then that was it. Then we kind of stopped playing. I forget why we stopped playing, but she stopped playing. I stopped playing. And yeah. Then you know what I think it was? The Xbox 360 was so fun. We had so much fun with the 360, and we played with friends a couple times a week. We would play zombies, and she would play by herself, and she could download stuff from the arcade, Viva Pinata, and Peggle, and there was that game with a frog that shot the balls, and you try to like match things to get rid of the snake before the snake it's like a snake of balls that went down to shoot. She liked that. I forget what they called that one there, and so we enjoyed the 360. Then we got when the newer one comes out, I think we went PS4. We didn't go Xbox One. We went PS4. So we lost touch with a lot of our Xbox friends because they were Xbox only, and I didn't want the Xbox One. I wanted the PS4. So we found some new friends with the PS4. Then at some point we just faded out from that. What one of the things is the PS4 controller died so fast. The Xbox One lasted a long time, and you could put regular batteries in it. And the PS4 one, you had to always constantly connect because your controller was dying. And so we enjoyed the PS4 for a while, but then like they come up with the PS5, and it's like, man, we're still on the PS4, and you've already forgot about me. So yeah, we kind of walked away from that. Let's see here. Okay, so Barbara's been playing some golf and Phoenix Rising, replaying it. Nice. From Vancouver, Mr. Joshua comes by. Carrie comes by too. Fantastic. And March 20th, AC Shadows is coming out. Today, we were talking today to her niece and nephew, mostly the niece. She was like the big gamer. And she's just like, I forget what game it was we were talking about. And she goes, don't get it on the console, get it on the PC. It's gorgeous and this and that, and you'll love it. So I was like, yeah, I know. The stuff on the PC is a little bit better. But the console stuff, what I liked with the console is that it worked. You didn't have to worry about compatibility or crashes. It's like it was made for the console to work on the console. Whereas, when you have a PC, it's made to work on some PCs. That's the thing. If you don't get a whoop-de-doo computer, some of these games don't work very well. So Brian says, relaxing stream to listen to while I separate my new driver cards for red, white, and blue racing and sip on my adult beverage. Well, I have a cream soda here, Brian. It's not really adult beverage, but I guess at my age, it kind of is, Let me see here. Where are we in the chat room here? And Joshua says, I don't mind playing games in chunks. For example, Hockey Bones take me a while, so I play it a period at a time. I used to do that too, Joshua. I used to, when I first started playing Hockey Bones, I learned it. And I played it, what I was doing is I was playing with dice. There's a lot of rolls. I actually hurt my shoulder or my elbow from like picking up the dice and over 200 times you'd have to do that. And as fun as it was, my age, repetitive stuff hurts like that. And I would play a period and I would get an ice cream headache. And I'd have to stop it and my arm would hurt. Now that I got the Excel helper, I know it's not technically cards and dice at that point because the Excel's kind of handling everything. I find that I can play a full game now. I don't get that ice cream headache. My arm doesn't hurt because I'm just kind of clicking for dice rolls. All the dice rolls are on the screen in one big whap, so you don't have to worry about rolling 5 or 6 times. All the dice rolls are there. I can play the game so much faster and it's streamlined, and I still feel like it's Hockey Bones. I don't feel like I'm losing anything by playing with the Excel helper. And I want to thank Keith for getting me that helper for Bones and for APA because those games. That's a game changer for me for playing those 2 games. It still feels like cards and dice. I'm still using the cards. I'm just not rolling my own dice, which is saving me a ton of time. And it's very enjoyable. And I like I said, with the Hockey Bones, maybe because it took so long to roll and figure it out, I used to have to play a period and take a break too. In fact, over there in the old Studio A, I actually set up a table over there. And I would have the hockey bones out, and I'd play a period and walk away. Then maybe come back after lunch or the next day and play the next period. And that's kind of how I did it for a while until I got the helper, and then I could play it here. Gus, enjoying shootout hockey. I love how quick I can get a game. And shootout is still got to be one of my favorites. That's one of the first ones I played. It's still one of my favorites. Shootout hockey is just it checks all the boxes for me. It's a semi-quick game to play. You get full stats if you wanted to. I like the fact that you roll before the game to see what your offense is going to be, and then sometimes to see how your goalie is. So he gives a little bit of a variance in your scoring chances depending on what you roll before the game. I think I like games that do that. You roll to see if you're hot, cold, or medium. So it's not always just a stagnant. You're an A and you're a B or whatever it is. That there's a chance that there's a little a variety there, a little variance, if you will. So I do like that. Just the fact that it's a highlight game, but you stop and you check the highlight, and sometimes it gets pretty intense. And I've had some many memorable games of shootout hockey, and I still play it to this day. And I'm glad that he's still kind of sneaking out new seasons once in a while. Where are we now? So he's doing his captain and coach. That was my thing. We were talking today at the 90th birthday party I was at for my mother-in-law, and the younger guys were getting drinks and girls were getting drinks, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't drank in years. And I used to be a big drinker, but back in my day, it was Captain and Coke. That was it, Captain Morgan and Coke or Diet Coke, whatever it was. That was my drink when I was in my 20s, and I just liked the spiced rum. That was my thing. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And every year I would get Captain Morgan for Christmas. So I never had to buy Captain Morgan because I would get it for Christmas and birthdays. But that was my thing. Bob, what do you got going on here? Craig chased Rene Robert because he shot at him, and then parked him in. Okay. So Craig went after Rene Robert, which I forgot Rene Robert played for Colorado. Yep. Maybe after the whistle, and then Park crunched him. Okay, so that was the game. I'm behind on my chat. I apologize. I'm kind of reading and then chatting here. Okay, so that was the game. I should look that up. 1981 Colorado Boston. It's probably the only time Boston went into Colorado. Park came in and the benches cleared. Yeah, he crushed him. He really did. Kenny, thanks for coming by. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah. God bless my little buddy. Hopefully he's not in any more pain and suffering anymore. Poor guy. Not that I think he was, terrible, but he was not in a good way. He had just too many things going on. Dwayne, what's going on? What do you got here? So I got the 84. No, I got 94. 94 I got. 94. Okay. So that was their last season in Cleveland, huh? Interesting. And then they moved, huh? So I like that. I like when I have like the last season, the first season. So I'm kind of glad I picked it up. I'm kind of glad I picked up 1994. A lot of reasons I picked up that season, and that I'll just add that to it. That's another one. And what was weird too is I didn't realize that so many of the Giants were on the Eagles that year. There was a couple of Giants that were on the Eagles, and again, the kid I went to the guy I went to high school with, Dave Bavaro, he was on the Patriots that year, and I remember he played with the Cardinals and the Patriots after he got out of high school. And I didn't realize he played with Drew Bledsoe. I didn't realize that. So it's funny when you go through the card, some of the names that you see, and it's like, oh, I didn't know this guy was here. That's the key. And when I brought that up about cards, individual cards, when you're holding that card in your hand, there's something special about that. It really is. You just can't duplicate that with a team sheet. You just can't. And I love my team sheet games. The second season, Solitaire Pro Football, the Fast Action Football from Downey, they're all team sheets. I like my team sheets too, but there's something really special about having that card. So I got the guy I went to high school with, I've known since first grade. Now we don't talk anymore, but we went to first grade together all the way through high school for the most part, and I have his Apple card. I think that's cool that I have his card. It's not on a team sheet, it's on a card. And that's one of the things I like about that. But it's fun going through the teams. It's like, I had no idea, I didn't realize, I think about Jim Zorn played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he retired. So that's the original Seattle quarterback going to the other expansion team before he retires. I didn't know that. There's a lot of guys that played on different teams, and it was just fun. It's just fun looking at that. Again, it makes it fun. And that was the 287 minutes, third highest. Yeah, that was nuts. And you guys still talk about that. Interesting. Heartbreaking. It is. 2 playoff losses were in Cleveland. It was. Okay, Barbara says Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. She was a sniper, the quiet girl. Yeah, her name was Quiet. And she was scantily clad, too. Not that that swayed me into playing that game all night long. But, and this PS5 will be the last one for you. I get it. Okay. Oh, you've been playing more on the PC, too. The other thing about the PC is, like, so you got to kind of keep it up, and you got to keep getting new PCs. Because if you don't, then you might not play the newest game, and things like that. And PCs, crashing a whole bit. The consoles can too. But again, when they make a game, it works. You know it's going to work on the console. You don't got to worry about upgrading it. It's supposed to work with all those technical specs. David, what do you got here? Good to see you here. I'll be playing 1973, Week 3, original app of football between Miami and your New England Patriots. Oh, so you got the 73 original APA football season. Do they offer that? Hang on 1 second. APA. Let me go here. All right, so I'm going to be looking off to the side here. Why don't I do this? Well, I'm going to, let's do this. Let's see. Let's do this. And so I'm going to add me. I'm going to do this. I'm doing this, sorry, behind the scenes here. So we can kind of add something here. Then I want to add a new layer. Screen share. Nope. I want to do that. I'm not sure how I do this now. Share screen. App of football. And share. Oh. Add the scene. Okay. All right, now I got it. All right, so we're gonna look at this together here. I'm going to go no frame, and we're going to put we'll put me on top so you can see me face. All right, now hopefully now you can see me and hear me. Let me know if you can still hear me, okay? And we're going to check together on this here. So cards and accessories, football card sets, pro season, and this here. So do they have 73? No, they don't. Right? So, oh wait, no, they do. Can we add the card? Is it there? Oh, they do. Okay, so they do have it. So we're going to remove it so I don't get stuck with it. So they do have 73 pro seasons, but you have the original one. That's what you're saying? You have the original one? And, okay, so you still can hear and see. Okay, I'm still getting used to this new software here because I just created a scene, and I just want to make sure you can hear me. So you got the 73. So that is, you can purchase the newer one, but you have the original. Do you like the originals better, David, than the newer ones? For me, because I'm a newer APA guy, I like the newer cards and everything. Hockey, baseball, football. Well, that's the only 3 I have, really. I like the newer cards because I have the older ones. I have old baseball. I have old football. I think I might even have old hockey, I think. I really like the newer cards better. I think they're brighter. I like all the master symbols. I just like how it's laid out. I just really like the newer cards compared to the old ones. That's just me. So I don't know what you like. But, yeah, it was kind of neat that they do have 1973 right here. So that's kind of neat. So let me go back to just me. There we go. So I created a new scene. Very nice. Very nice. So now I know how to do that. So I'm interested to know what you think about that. Gandalf says, I was watching 81 North Stars Bruins Brawl. That was just on YouTube. That was on my feed the other day. It's like, check out this game here. I thought that was stupid. It was on the UHF channel, yeah. I always find that those fights to be stupid. Even back in the day, I never get into it, Banking on Money says I turned into a PC Steam player for the most part. Yeah, Steam is great, isn't it? Steam is great. Let me stop the screen share. And so that is that. Yeah, Steam is great. It just holds all your stuff in one place. And the great thing about Steam is like when you get a new computer or if you get a laptop, like I can take my laptop and go on the road, I can just download everything on the laptop and still use it and not have to worry about, you know, downloading, what I mean, I can just download the games. You don't have to worry about, if you have all these different places that you had games or discs or whatever, Steam is just it's so useful. It really is. Yeah, I'm trying to hang in there, Bob. It's kind of weird. It's really weird. It's a daily interaction. You have with animals, whether it's a cat or a dog. It just, you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do in the morning, you look for your animals. What are they? If they're not sleeping with you, it's like, where are you? It's like get up and have a coffee, and you'd hear him come upstairs because he needs to go out and take a pee, and or he'd hear something, he'd come barking in the morning, and he'd just sit with you watching TV. So it's all those little things that you miss, But when they're not feeling good and they can't jump up on the couch, that's a problem. And it's like, yeah, we can't do this, Let's see. All right, so you guys could hear me on that other side. I'm getting a little bit better. This software, by the way, or this EV Mux that I'm using, is so fantastic. It's really nice. It really is. It's either as good or better than StreamYard, or at least the StreamYard that I had, and it's half the price. And it's better than that other one I had. That other one I had for $10 a month. Oh, that didn't work at all. It was really clunky. I did not like it. So World's Worst Game was talking about Steam Next Fest. I did not know what that is either. Demos and Steam Next. It's like Steam started to do like can test out games. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, it's a great way to test out games without purchasing it. Interesting. Yes, original APA had nicknames. Newer doesn't. I grew up back in the 70s. Mean Joe's Green was Charles Edward Mean Joe Green. Okay. Some of the new cards, I think, have nicknames. Some of them. Vinny's got original 72 APA football season. I have the big boards, too, as I referred to. Maybe bring that to Connecticut, and we can take a look at that. We can take a look at the older cards and maybe compare them to the newer cards. I have the newer 72 season. Bob gave that to me in Ohio. It was kind of neat. I think I played the Raiders. I played a couple of games of 72. And Gandalf says he has the craziest baseball stat today. Dick Hall, reliever for the Orioles, in the 60s threw over 1,200 innings, faced 5,000 batters. He had only one wild pitch. That is, 5,000 batters and one wild pitch. So I imagine that, on his card, whatever card he has in whatever game is not going to give you a wild pitch. I would hope that it wouldn't. Right? Right? I would hope that you would not get a wild pitch on that particular card. So what else are you guys playing here? Tell me what you've been playing, because I played nothing. So I need to live through you guys. I need to vicariously live through you guys here, what you're playing here, so I can kind of enjoy what you guys are playing until I can fire up my thing here. And then you're gonna get sick of me, because once I stop going to New Hampshire for these games, it's gonna feel like I have so much time. It's gonna feel like I retired when I just got to do my regular job and I don't have to worry about traveling an hour each way and being at the rink between 3 and 6 hours. It's gonna, how much time that's gonna give me. So I'm hoping to do so many other things here on this channel, play so many games. I just want to play something and have some fun with it, And so it's shipping is expensive, yeah. But you know something? If you got that, if you could just say to pick your favorite season, and it's a big bullet to bite, but pick your favorite season. You might love it to death. You might. What if? Okay, so $250. What if you put 100 hours of Apple football on your table? Do the math. Is it worth $2.50 an hour? That's how you break it down. That's how we justify our purchases. would you get $2.50 an hour worth of enjoyment if you put 100 hours into that for that season for that cost? That's what I do. I was talking to I think I was talking to St. Patrick the other day, and I says, I bought that 81 season, and it was $122 plus shipping. And I says, by the time I set up and played and broke down, I was about 3.5 hours into that 81 season. I says, almost that one game, I felt like I almost got my money's worth out of that season. So if I paid, $30 an hour or $40 an hour, that's a little much. If I play one more game, it's $20 an hour. If I play 3 games, it's $10 an hour. And at that point there, at $10 an hour, I'm getting my enjoyment. I am getting $10 an hour worth of fun out of that. That's kind of how I justify that. Now, again, there's free games you can play, and it costs you absolutely nothing, and you can enjoy those too. I'm not saying that you can't. But when it comes to games like this, you got to buy the seasons, and it does get expensive. That's why it's got to be it's got to be the game for me, because I don't want to buy willy nilly. I want to make sure that it's something I'm really gonna play. And I know there's other games out there that are cheaper, but I just keep coming back to this game here. It's just the one I enjoy playing. That's just me, and everybody has their favorite. There's some people that have like all these seasons of other games that I've never played and never will play. So they have hundreds, if not, a couple $1,000s or so worth of seasons and whatever into this game X, and it's like I've never played game X, probably won't play it. So for me, it's not a good deal. For them, it's a super deal and good. That's what you got to do. Oh, let's see, back here in the chat room here. Gandalf is playing Season Ticket 1983. I almost pulled that out tonight. I haven't played Season Ticket baseball in a while, and I want to get that back here on the channel. But I just didn't have the mental capacity to sit and try to relearn how to play that tonight, because it's been a while since I played it, and I don't like to play the basic with that. I like to add in some of the master rules or the advanced rules, and I just didn't have it in me tonight to try to relearn that. Say Duffer Man is playing some Stone Cold Hockey. That's another one I almost pulled out. I got it sitting right over here. And I said, should I play some Stone Cold tonight? And I was like, oh, maybe I'll play it on the PC, or maybe I'll play it on the tabletop. And I was like, no, I decided just to kind of talk to you guys tonight. Deck building game. You know something? It's going to sound like a broken record. I almost played Star Realms tonight, which is a deck building game in a computer. And I don't think I have it on the tabletop. I don't think. No, I don't know if I have the cards and dice version. But on the table, on the Steam version of Star Realms, which you have it on Steam, you can also play it. There's an app on your iPad or your computer, you can play it. So I have it on my iPad, so I can play this game on Steam. I can play it on my iPad, because I think whatever the name of the company is, you sign up and you get an account. And then with the app, you can download it. So you buy it through Steam, play it through Steam, but also you can play it in other places because you have an account and a proof of purchase that you've bought the game. And there's all kinds of expansions, but that's a deck building game. I never knew anything about deck building games. And I tried to, every now and then I'd sit down and try to learn the deck building games. I can't figure this out. And that game really helped me figure out deck building games. And I'm still not very good at deck building games, but they are fun. Do you keep this card? Do you spend this card? What card do you keep? Why are you keeping it? In this particular game, you try to match colors. So if you buy a card with whatever coins you got in that round, and so if you stop buying red cards, you should stick with the red, because if you get 2 red cards, then you get a little bit more, more power or more, destruction or whatever it is. So the deck building games can be fun. I have a couple on Steam that I have. One is a rock and roll one where you're fighting another band and you're like zapping them with your guitars, and it's kind of neat. But the deck building games can be fun. I will give you that. Above the Rim Basketball, free Excel-based game that comes with every NBA team back to 54. Yeah, someone was talking about that. Was that Ron was talking about Above the Rim Basketball? I think he showed it off too, and I think I had a time with it. You know what one I like? Hope I don't lose you guys here. Hoops PC. Hoops PC is the one that I have it feels like Strat. It feels like Stratomatic basketball, and it's all done in a little app. It's not Excel. It's in an app. You do pay for it. It's not that expensive. Not terribly expensive. And that's a fun basketball game. It feels just like Strat basketball. It really does. And it's all click, and they do the substitutions and everything for you. You can simulate games. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but that's a fun one to play. That's right up there with Replay PC basketball. I like that one too. I really do. Joe says he's got ASG 6-pack bowling. Interesting name for a game, you know? Yeah, and I'm not trying to sway you, Sean. I'm just, it's one of these things, like I say, you don't got to go crazy like me. Like I say, I work stupid hours, so, when I work crazy hours, I take some of that money and I'll buy an APA season or a strat season or a payoff pitch season. That's just me because I'm just a crazy man like that. That's what keeps me going. If I couldn't buy something fun with my money, then I wouldn't be working. But you could do that. You could just you get that one season. What's your favorite football season? I'm gonna get the game. I'm gonna get my favorite football season, and I'm just gonna play that. For the next few months, and and maybe get your money's worth out of it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you hate it. Maybe you sell it. I don't know. But that's the thing is you have the physical game and the card, so that stuff you could sell, whereas, PDFs and electronic stuff you can't. And Barbara says, I feel like, Dave, as long as I get a lot of gameplay from a game, you're good. Getting an hour or two is not good. Yeah. That goes for anything, because I used to buy a lot of, $60 or $70 or $80 video games, but, look at Skyrim. I think I had it for the 360. What's it, a $60 game? Might even been $40 or $50 on the 360. I don't remember. And I put 200 hours in, or 300 hours on the Xbox 360. So, what was that? 50 cents an hour? Maybe less? Well, let's do the math. All right, so we're going to take out my calculator here. All right, so I'm trying to think how I would do the math here. So I spent, let's just call it, we'll call it $60 divided by 300.2. So that's 20 cents an hour. It cost me to play Skyrim on the Xbox 360. Just throwing that out there. And there's other games I have here with cards and dice. And again, if I play a couple of games, you start getting your money's worth. Yeah, but again, it's all about the fun factor too. You can break it down to dollars and cents, but there's been so many like the Assassin's Creed games for the PS4. I mean, you got to put 20, 30, 40, 50 hours into those. So I mean, you're talking, at 60 hours, it's a buck. It's a buck an hour. Not a buck $1 an hour. That's how you got to look at it. It's are you going to get your enjoyment on it? It's like anything else. You go to a ball game or a hockey game or a football game, you're dropping hundreds of dollars and it's over that night. You get nothing to show for it. You have some memories, you had some fun there, but that's it. You spent $200, $300, $400 on a night out, and yeah, you have an experience and stuff. Lifetime memories. I get all that, but again, you don't walk out with anything. The exchange rate and the cost of shipping to Canada. If they don't do PDFs, they don't get your cash. I get that. I hear that too, even from people in England. It's like if you, but that's not the fault of the gaming company. There's just nothing you can do once you ship outside a country. It's just you're at their mercy. You really are. I ordered some hockey equipment from Czechoslovakia or Slovakia or Czech Republic one time, and yeah, there was a whole bunch of shipping on top of that. It just kind of sucked, but nothing you can do. All I ask is don't take it out on the company. Don't take it out on any company that says, well, here's the price to go to Canada, here's the price to go to England, and here's the price to go to Australia, because it's out of their control. It really is. And you can't find anything for $10 an hour. So yeah, get what you love, enjoy it. Yep. And like St. Patrick says, it's you never know. Like I say, you never know what's going to happen on any given day. So again, you can't be reckless. You can't live for today and have nothing for tomorrow. But at the same time, you got to live a little, and that's why I'm having my cream soda. And if we stay on, I got a backup root beer here, all caffeine free, sugar free. but it's stuff I shouldn't be drinking. But something, if it gives me a little bit of enjoyment, you know, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a little enjoyment here and try to get through my life with, whatever else I can do and have some fun. Um, and Sean says, Barbara, I should say my son has spent way more on WoW, so I should be cool getting Apple football. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's got their thing. I tell, stories. There's people that I play hockey with that collect cars. How do you collect cars? He goes to auctions and buys cars. Now I'm not saying he's buying Lamborghinis, but he's buying cars. And that's his collection. It's like, holy cow, you're spending, it's got to be a few $1,000s every time you buy a car, right? And maybe more. I know some people that have, record collections. Some people that collect, sunglasses. Everyone has their thing they spend money on. But if they don't agree with you, then they're looking at you saying, what a waste of money. But you could walk into their house and look around and say, what a waste of money here. You bought that necklace for your wife. That's great. $2,000 for a necklace, let's say. To me, that's a waste of money. To me, that's a waste of money. Some people think, no big deal. $2,000 for jewelry, that's a great $2,000 spent. It all depends. Again, I buy some Apple Seasons or Strat or, pick up a new game from Play or whatever I get. No, that's a waste of money. Some people thought video games are a waste of money. I still got a ton of video games over here. I got, hundreds or, a couple $1,000 of video games that I bought still sitting over here. But I can play them at any time or I can sell them. We used to go video game shopping every Sunday morning, me and a friend of mine. We go to the retro places and buy all these games for $1. And sometimes you find one for $15 to $20, and mostly PS2 games or Xbox games. And I developed a pretty decent-sized collection. And then I realized I really wasn't going to play them. I would put them in for a minute and have my fun, and then I'm done with them. And so I went through all those games, and I brought them up to the video game store. And they gave me like $300 in cash for a bunch of these games. I think I actually made out, because I don't think I spent $300 on those games. But some of them were worth some money, and so it was kind of interesting that I had my fun with them. I bought them, and I sold them off, and so that's something you can do too, is selling them off if you want to. But like I say, I bought some stuff when I had some extra money. I would buy some stuff and had some fun. I had some fun buying it, had some fun playing it, and then I get rid of it. So, but again, everybody has their thing, and maybe that's a good topic for a show. Everybody has their thing, because just because people don't agree that, you're going to spend your money on a cards and dice game or a computer game or a console game, a Xbox game, there's something they're doing that you could look at and say, well, that's a waste of money. It is. Everyone has a hobby. Some people, do woodworking. Some people like putzing around the house. One of the guys today at the 90th birthday party, says I spent tons of money redoing my bathroom. He goes, I did a lot of the work myself, but I bought all the materials and stripped it. So he wanted to redo his bathroom. Nothing wrong with it. It probably looks super nice, but I'd rather spend my $10,000 or $20,000 on something else. But again, everybody has their thing. Everybody has their thing, and don't let anybody tell you that you're wrong. That's my feeling. Now, obviously, if you spend all your money and you can't buy medication, you can't buy food, you can't pay the rent, well, that's silly. Obviously, that's completely silly. But everybody has their thing, and you have to have your thing. You have to live your life. You have to live. Michael says he likes the Stone Cold hockey. Yes, I like that. I have it on the computer, and I have it on the tabletop. Holy cow, I like the tabletop version. It just feels so good. It really does. First time I played that in the tabletop, I was like loving this game. I really was. And we helped them build the PC game, Ron and I. A lot of that... a lot of the screens and a lot of the box scores and the stats set up, a lot of that was my design. I was like, nope, this is how it's going to be. So I was pretty happy that I got my stamp on that game, and I'm very happy with the way it come out. But the cards and dice version is so good. It really is. And banking on my side, I played 300 plays of shootout hockey. Oh, yes, we talked about that earlier. Shootout hockey is so good. I don't have every season, but I almost have every season. I have every season before... Every season, probably, I don't know if it's everyone, but anything before like the 90s, I'm pretty sure I have every one. I might be missing a couple of older ones from the 50s or something, but for the most part, I think I have just about everything shootout. As we get into the 2000s and the 2010s and stuff like that, I don't really play those, so I don't have those. But yeah, that is so good. I forget how many games I played. I gotta have at least 100 games of shootout. No, well, I did a whole season for the Seals, which was what 70 or 80 games, plus the Summit Series and playoffs I've done. So I could be up over a couple hundred games easy for shootout, maybe closer to 3. Yeah, it never gets old. You're exactly right. It never gets old. Parallel comes by. He created Doc Hockey in Excel, created macro to play the games, rated the players from 79 to 80. It's fun as heck, and it's free. Nice. I can't create in Excel. That's just what I can't do. Vinny says hoops and college basketball 2K are great. Michael says, I've started Diamond Line Baseball again. The PvP is the best I've seen. It's a fun game. Plays fast with a lot of strategy options. That's what I've heard. I've heard Diamond Mine is very good. I haven't played it. Maybe I should go check it out. But yes, I've heard that about it. Hoops was good in replay basketball, but he plays mostly college with Action PC. And he's got online league. Yep. And Barbara says AC is her favorite game. She's got 3,400 hours into it. And she 100%ed it. And it's her go-to game to unwind. Like I said, I loved all those games. I like the Far Cry games, the Assassin's Creeds, any games that like you could just you could walk away from the main quest and go do other things, like search for the idols. I think Far Cry, you search for the idols, and you would get a map. You could buy a map. That was kind of neat. You could buy a map in the game that showed you where they were on the map, so you could look at the map and say, "Oh, it's here." But then you'd go there and it'd be like a hill, and you're like, where is it? Is it on the hill somewhere? Is it buried? And you'd have to dig it up, or then you go around and see a cave opening. It's like, well, I guess this idol's in the cave. You got to go in the cave, and then you got to figure out how to jump up and go over here and go around, and then define this thing. And sometimes you have to fight some things, but a lot of times it was just it was a mini game of trying to find out where it is and how to get to it. So, but that's a fun time there. Joe, do you remember the old New Haven Nighthawks and the Baltimore Clippers? Yeah. Was that AHL? I think I do remember the New Haven Nighthawks. And when I had the Ice Cat tickets in Worcester for the AHL, it was the Baltimore Bandits, I think it was called. But I think it was the New Haven Nighthawks at the time. I think. That might have been before or after Worcester, but I do remember a team in New Haven. Let's see. Michael says, I almost picked up National Pastime 3 for the PC, but got a Diamond Season instead. And Vinny says, I'll give you my Apple game. Come down to Connecticut in May. Yep. Open world games make me happy too. It's something to do. It's fun. There's so much to do. Fetch Quest and I remember when I got Oblivion. Okay, this is before Skyrim, and this was on. I don't know, it was on the Xbox 360. I don't remember. And Oblivion wasn't as big as Skyrim. And I remember getting a horse, and I went to the edge of the map, and I took the horse, and I went all the way around the map, right? And I discovered all the cities. And when you discovered a city, it would appear on your map. When you hit the map button, if you discovered it, it would pop up. And I just walked around, and I was discovering places and talking to people. And there were some places that you didn't want to mess with because, at level, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever I was, you didn't have a chance of doing any of the missions. But at least you found the place, and then you could fast travel to them. And it was just fun because you had villages, you had cities, you had hidden places. It was just, those games are so fun, just exploring. That's what The Witcher 3 was. I remember that was a big map, Witcher 3. And I just went as far out as I could into like swamps, and I was practically drowning and fighting alligators, and I would stumble on something, a city, a town, a house, a fort, some kind of broken down thing I would stumble on, and it would give you something to do. And that was the thing about an open world game, Appa saved me the troubles. They don't have my seasons for the Colts 95. Yeah, that they don't have. Baltimore Clippers, Bennett Wolf. Interesting. Vinny bought a custom putter from Australia. It cost him $875. Yeah, yeah. Was it kangaroo lace? Did it have a kangaroo grip? Um, it is a company's choice whether they do PDFs or not. Okay, but there's a lot of theft with PDFs, and a lot of people have talked about that. That's why they don't do the PDFs. And I see where you're coming from with that. And some people could do that, but it's a lot of people talk about how they get ripped off with that stuff, and people pass it around. And there's people that do that, and they don't support the developers. So I always said, my suggestion was to release the cards for a particular season, especially a newer season, and then maybe in a year or 6 months to a year or a year and a half, release the PDF. So that way, it's almost like going to the movie theater. So put the theater in the movies, make your money at the theater, then put it on DVD, and people can buy it rather than going straight to DVD. So give the people a chance to go to the movies and watch it if they want to. Give the people a chance to buy the cards if they want to buy the cards. But at some point, make that available PDF after you've made, your money on the cards. Because most, especially the new seasons, or even if they release an older, so like they just released 1994, if they said, okay, well, for the first, 6 months or 9 months, you can get cards only, but then after that, you can get the PDFs. Some people are going to want to buy the cards right away. Some people will wait, and some people won't. AP, good to see you. As the AP comes by. And Rob says, all things in moderation. Yeah, well, that's the thing. All things in moderation. I have my diet sodas here that I don't like to drink the dark stuff too often. I quit diet soda for years because that's all I drank. And now I went to the seltzers, but every now and then I'll have a Diet Coke when I go out or a Diet Root Beer here. But I try to really stick with the Gatorade water and flavored waters and seltzer water. I try to go to the clear stuff as much as I can. Keep my stomach happy so I don't have any stomach issues. Dufferman says, my wife hates getting flowers because they die so quick and she feels it's a waste of money. They look nice for a while. My wife buys flowers all the time, but then they'll die off, and it is kind of a bummer. But sometimes you have to do some things like that to just look nice for a while. Like she's always planting stuff outside, and they bloom, and then they die. It's like, oh, that didn't last. Yeah, my wife hates husbands for the same reason. Yeah. It was. Gandalf says, just enjoy what you're doing. Don't judge others. Yeah, that's the big thing. It's just when someone says that, again, if you're smart about it, that's my thing, is being smart and don't, again, if I ever, come into a money crunch situation, I'm certainly not going to be buying any games or seasons if I can't do it. If I have other things to pay for, when we were doing the dog, when we were treating the dog, or, whatever it was, that my money was going to pay the vet bills, and I wasn't buying stuff for a while or even playing stuff. But, things have settled down a bit with that. So now I can pick up an extra job. That's why I used to like when I used to get a call from the rink, in the next town over. Hey, can you fill in tonight? Yes, I can. There's a season and a half of football right there, and I don't consider that income because that's extra. That's beyond all the extra stuff I do. This is like wicked extra stuff. So I'm like, there's my half of football season, or there's my half of hockey season, or there's, something I'm going to put towards Black Friday. So it's too bad they're not going to be there next year, because he would call me like, hey, can you show up in an hour? I was like, yes, I can. and I'd make, and I'm not laughing. I'm just saying that, and I would do a professional job, and they get a professional job out of me. So I'm not laughing at the job. I'm just laughing that was how I would justify doing the job. Okay, I'm really tired, but I'm going to go do this because I know that will be my new season, or that will be my new game, is by doing these two jobs or this job here today, and that's kind of how I justify it. And Rangers won tonight. Yes, they did. Yep. Do what you like to do. Don't let others judge you. That's a big thing. Again, as long as and be a good human. Yep. Yeah. As long as, you're not, I know people that, would go buy video games and they had no food and they couldn't put gas in the car. I'm like, why are you buying a video game then? Seriously, wait a couple of weeks, put $20 away this week, for the game, and then 20 the next week. And then by the third week, you get your $60. This is, don't be foolish. Don't let anybody go hungry, and don't not being able to put gas in your car to go buy video games. So I mean, there's being smart about things. That's the other thing, being smart. Not that I've always been smart, but I've always tried to, put the main bills first, and then if there's stuff left, great, we'll go have some fun. As long as you don't hurt yourself or others, I don't care what you do to make yourself happy. Pretty much. Rainer comes by. Thanks for coming by here. We're just having a chat tonight. I was too tired to play something. And I come on to chat and see what everyone's playing. And we're just going wild tonight, having a good time. That's what we like to do here on the channel. We like to open some things up and talk to people, see what you're playing, see what goes on in the community, and see how things are going with everybody. And yes, AP, thank you so much. It's different around here. Again, you have a little dog, he's 28 pounds, not big. You guys have seen him walk behind me here. He's snuck behind me over here a few times, and a couple times I put him on camera, and he got really sick. And it's only been a couple of days, and it's been almost 48 hours, sadly. And it's just I'm always looking for him because you're so used to hearing him walk around, and what's he up to now, and what's he doing, and he you know how animals are. You get their routines and where they sleep. It's like, oh, he's got a new spot to sleep, and the wife went on the couch down here, and she pulled the blanket up. She found like 25 dog bones, so she would give him a bone. He'd go bury it in the couch. So we have all these bones in the couch, and she's just laughing about that. It's just kind of like watching their routines. They're like little people is what they are, kind of sort of. It was just fun watching them do that. So, and it's just been very lonely without him. It really is. It stinks. Not much you can do about it. It does stink though. Let me see, and Gandalf agrees with Barbara. And Carrie B says, I picked out Shootout and a couple seasons after watching my latest videos. Shootout is such a fun game. Tell John I sent you. John K creates the game. We have a pretty good relationship, me and John. Do I still got that easy score sheet for Shootout? Yeah, I believe I do. I believe it's on Facebook, and I have it here on my computer. So digitaltodice@yahoo.com. Send me an email, and I'll zip that score sheet off to you. I just played that the other day, as a matter of fact. The Shootout EZ. Didn't I? I did a video not too long ago with Shootout EZ. It's a free game, and you still use the Shootout cards that you bought, and you still get the offense and goalie rating for offense and defense. But you just roll, and you get a quick result for the period, and it's fun. It's super fun. The Shootout EZ, he did a good job of that. That come out of nowhere. He did it a couple of years ago or something like that. And I was like, John, what the heck is this? And we worked on it together. He's like, what do you think? So we did a few things, and there's a few things that I said, I really would do this instead of that. And I would, I wouldn't use letters. I would use numbers or whatever it was. And then we went over the rare plays and had fun with that. And we went back and forth for a couple of weeks or so before he nailed it down. But I'm pretty happy with the way it come out. And that come out of nowhere. Shootout EZ. But he shot it off to me, and I gave him my feedback. And it was all him. But I gave him, like, this is what I would like to see if I'm playing the game. And this makes it a little less confusing to do it this way. And he did. He revamped it all, or it's just, tidied it up a little bit, and he's got a great game. It really is. And Rob says he likes the 1986 Starflight. Hundreds of hours spent with that game. I like some of the space games. I have a hard time flying them. I did pick up, it was a Star Wars X-Wing game that I have on the computer here, and I really enjoyed it. And I got the joystick, I don't know if it was an Xbox controller. No, it was a joystick maybe. And I had fun with that. And I just put it on super easy mode and just did the missions. And it was fun, shooting the TIE fighters. And especially with the newer games, just the sounds. Like, you put on headphones, like, oh my gosh, it just sounds like I'm really out there in Star Wars universe. And then I picked up a couple other space games that, a couple you just shuttling things around and whatever. I enjoy the flying around games once in a while, too. And you started playing the drive time football and the new basketball game. I saw him doing videos of the new basketball game. I'm trying to figure out how it plays. He was doing a setup today, and I was kind of like half watching it and doing something else. I was like, boy, there's a lot of setup to this game. So just as he's going really crazy with the basketball about, setting it up at the SRS rating. I was trying to follow it all. So I guess he's coming in May. And so he'll show that game off in May, I'm pretty sure. But I haven't tried that yet, and I haven't downloaded the directions yet. So once he releases it, I'll give that a go. And I think it's a quicker play game too. It doesn't take too long to play once you get the ratings up. I don't think. But what do you think of it, AP? I don't know what you think. A fun medieval city builder I like to play is called Foundation. Just build a beautiful city, and enjoy. Yeah, I like games you kind of build stuff like that. What there was like was it Sim City was one that you could just build cities up, and I think there was I think you had a I don't know what mode it was called, but it was like unlimited mode where you had unlimited money and you could just build whatever you want. And that's what I used to like to do, because the idea was you have a budget and you got to tax people, get taxes in, and build just things. And it was just great when you had unlimited budget and you could just build like stadiums. And so I did like that. That was pretty. The city building games are kind of fun like that. I really did like that. I like the casual games. Like I played. I picked up. I think it was Black Friday. I picked up No Man's Sky. I had that on the PS4. And that was a crazy game when it came out, and it took them a couple years, but they fixed it. It's a fun little game now. So I just put it on open adventure mode, and I could get any ship I want and fly anywhere I want and just do certain things. And it's sometimes kind of fun just kind of chill out with that stuff there. AP says the Nighthawks used to be affiliated with the Rangers back in the 80s. Okay, that's where I heard the Nighthawks. Okay. The Baltimore Clippers became the Baltimore Skipjacks. Yes, I do remember the Skipjacks. Then the Baltimore Bandits. Okay. And your father took you to most of their game, developing your love for hockey. Yeah, we went to a lot of minor league hockey too. Some Roads comes by. Thanks for coming by. And yes, thank you. Yeah, it's always so sad. So sad. And it's just weird because we've had 3 dogs since we've been in this house. And we had the Husky for about 13 years. She got cancer too. She was in bad shape. We kept her alive too long. And we put her down. And then this guy we have here, we had 2 for a while. We had the Husky, then CJ. The Husky died. We just had CJ. Then she got another Shiba Inu. And he was really unhealthy. We only had him like for about 4 or 5 years, and he passed away. He was not good. And then we got, I think we had 3. I think she got the Shiba Inu when we had the Husky. The Husky died first, then the Shiba Inu. And then she picked up that little dog that broke its leg, and it's got 3 legs now. But that's her little sleep buddy. She's like this big. And but we've had CJ for 14 years since he was a puppy, and it's just weird having him go. He was kind of my dog, because I would always be walking him. The Husky was her dog. The Shiba Inu was her dog. But CJ, he kind of became my dog. And I just would sit with him, watch TV, and he'd be under my feet while I worked, and I would rub my feet on him and pat him, and he would sleep while I worked all day. Even when I played my guitar, and every now and then this was years ago, but I would pull out my guitar and put on my amp, and I would play, and it wouldn't be wicked loud, but it would be loud, and he would sit at my feet while I played the guitar, and the music didn't bother him at all. So I didn't blast him out or anything, but I was like, you think dogs would want to be around that, but he sat while I played my guitar. And all these little things you think about, that he's your buddy. And it's so sad. And the Baltimore Bandits were all for 2 years. Okay, but that's when I went. It's like mid-90s. That's when I went to the Ice Cats games. And Sean likes the Elden Ring so much. I like how combat tries your patience. See, I don't like that. When I was talking to my wife's niece and nephew today about games, I says, I don't like the skill games anymore with my fingers. I put it on casual mode. I just want to play the game and enjoy it because I don't have that anymore. That's why I stopped playing video games. That's how this whole digital to dice thing happened. It was coming from digital video games to dice on the table because I couldn't do this. I couldn't make the jumps. I couldn't swing the sword unless I put it on super easy mode. And then there was a whole uprising about, oh, you don't want to have super easy mode because it's too easy and that's not the idea behind the game. And like, that's great for you, but for me, in my 50s, I can't do it. I'm not 20 or 30 or 40 anymore. So if you don't give me an easy mode, I can't play your game. I can't enjoy your game. I can't enjoy the graphics. I can't enjoy the things that you created if you don't give me a way to play it. If it's going to be so hard, screw that. I'll go play. I'll go find a game that does have an easy mode. But so many of these are, you can't have an easy mode. That's. Well, wait till you get my age, and then you're like, yeah, I can't play in these games. We'll see you then, right? You like the hat? Yeah, I just got this off of eBay. Rhodes. Because I'm going to be playing some 70s and 80s football, whether it's APRA or something else. I said, I need to have a Houston hat. And this was like, I don't know, it was 15 to 20 bucks. The only thing is it's a cushion here. This is all cushion right here. And it puffs way up. It looks like a 10-gallon hat when I don't have my headphones on. See if I go, like, whoop. You see how high that is? My head's like here, and then the hat goes up way over here, Oh. But yeah, I like it too. I every now and then I pick up a hat or something because it's for a team I play here. I got I go to a baseball site and they have wicked sales, and all those visors I got, they were $5. So I'll get 5 of them for $25 and get free shipping or something like that. It's like, so now I get all these visors so I can wear when I play too. So every now and then I'll pick up a new hat or something so I can put it on the channel here. And Carrie B says that'd be the way to do it. Even a 2-year wait would be fine for the PDFs. I mean, I think that's kind of that's kind of cutting the baby in half right there. Whereas you can still make your money on the print version for all the people that want to do it and the local people. But at some point, you'll open it up PDF for the people who can't afford the full cards and dice version or that live overseas. Now, the other thing is that, even if you get it for free, if somebody were to steal the PDF, you still got to print it. So that's the other thing. So it's not really free. If somebody were to steal it for you, still got to print it up. But I mean, instead of spending, $100 in a season, if it was 30 or 40 for the PDF, you still got to print it. And for me, I used to do PDFs back in the day because I had a nice printer and I got the cardstock and I enjoy it. And I did many videos here, me printing and cutting and doing whole seasons. I had some fun with it. And then I realized, holy crap, I just spent, 3 days printing, cutting, and sorting or cornering even. How much is my time worth? And they're still not as good as the factory one. So now it's like, something, as much as I enjoyed saving money and getting PDFs and printing them out, it's a better deal for me to get the printed set from the company. It just saves me time. I open the box and I'm playing. I don't have to print out. I don't have to worry about running out of ink or paper. Or, my hands used to hurt from cutting. You get a stack like this, and you're like, well, this is some of the teams. I spent too much time on the PDF printing. Like a game like Shootout, where it's just like 5 or 6 pages, no big deal. Team sheets you can print out, no big deal. But the individual cards, like, the strats and the payoff pitches and the appers and things with individual cards, and there's a lot of them. Yeah, I'm going to buy from the factory. That's what I like to do. I heard they were playing the Monster Hunter Wilds. Yep, they were playing that. The niece and nephew were talking about that today. I think I played a Monster Hunter game one time. I don't know what it was called. One guy was the big monster, and the other 4 people were trying to chase him. And it was okay. No, I don't like the survival games anymore. I never was a big fan of resource collecting. That's why I didn't like Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't want to have to groom my horse and clean my horse and feed my horse and water my horse. That's too much for me. I did pick up Frostbite, though. Frostbite. One of those games in the snow where you had to build the heaters and allocate workers. And it was kind of I guess it was a survival game or a resource game or whatever. And it was on sale real cheap, and I played a little bit. It was okay. It was set up in a world where it was all snow, and you had to whatever. It was okay. I didn't play it that long, but as far as survival games, it all depends. I guess it all depends. And Sean likes his Houston Oilers. Yeah. And Some Road says I'm almost exclusively play MLB The Show, but recently took out 80 MLB app and having fun. I love the cards and dice game. Ever since Chuck had got me playing cards and dice, it's so relaxing. It just is, because you do it your way. It really is. When you're playing on the computer, the computer dictates everything, or the console dictates everything. When you're playing here, you are the dungeon master, and that's what I really like about that. Rob says I buy exclusively PDFs. It's less expensive and saves me postage, which I'm facing at an exchange rate. Yep, yep. And for some people that works out. It really does. Some people that works out. Oilers and the Seahawks of the 80s. Yeah, that was a great Seahawks song. I like the Buccaneers too. That old Seahawks uniform was my favorite. Was my favorite. Yeah, 100% of the Seahawks. So that silver one with the blue. That when they changed to that weird green and they changed the logo, that old Seahawks logo was great. Do I have it over here? Hang on a sec. Now you're gonna have to make me go get it, right? But they hang on a sec. What? Oh, I think I grabbed. Oh, here they are. Yep, this one here, still my favorite. Yep, that one right there. That Seahawks helmet. That is just. That was great. That silver one, I liked the look of that hawk compared to the new hawk. I didn't really like the new hawk. Do I have them? Okay. I don't like that new hawk too much. The new green, kind of a funky green. Yeah. Midlife comes by. Hi there, Midlife. We've been chatting a couple hours. I didn't realize we had a chat going on. I guess you guys wanted to chat tonight, so that's fine. The wife's in bed. We ate so much food at that 90th birthday party for her mom tonight, this afternoon. That was a good time, and we ate so much food. It was fun. Was CJ short for something? Yes, it was. So the CJ story goes, she worked with people that were Chinese, and this lady and her daughter would go to China and visit the family, and they would rescue dogs and bring them back to the United States. And they went back one spring, and they got 2 dogs, and they brought them into work. They brought them back from China, and they grabbed one, and there was a little dog that was outside a pet shop, and he was like curled up in the corner, and he was very, very young, and they don't know where he came from or how he got there. And so they went into the pet shop, and it's like, are you going to do anything with this dog? And the pet shop people's like, no, we don't want anything to do with that dog. And they said, mind if we take him? I said, go ahead. So they took him, and he was so small he couldn't get over the curb on the street. Like, you know how you got a curb on the street? He couldn't climb over the curb. So they were walking along, and he was trailing them. He's like, where'd he go? He couldn't get over the curb. He was that small. And they nursed him. They brought him home, and there's pictures of them nursing CJ with a bottle to get him strength so he could, come back to the United States. So he wouldn't have lasted. He was somebody just left him there. Maybe they dropped him off at the pet shop. We don't know, but he was outside of a pet shop, and they scooped him up at the last minute and brought him home on a plane. And he was tiny. There's pictures of him on people's lap, and they brought him into work. And there's a picture of him, licking my wife's cheek, and I was like, well, okay, we'll take him. Because she's like, who wants a dog? And my wife's like, what do you got? And like, oh yeah, we'll take him. And so we took him home, and we didn't know what to call him. And at the time, we were going out and doing a lot of Chinese food, drinks and stuff. And again, this is 14 years ago. Now, not so much. But we were going out and living it up, And so there's a local place up here that we've been going to for years and years and years called China Jade. And one of the girls at her work, we were figuring out a name for him, and I was like, how do we call him like Poo Poo Platter? She's like, we're not calling him Poo Poo Platter. And one girl at work heard that, and she goes, well, you guys go to China Jade a lot. Why don't you call him CJ? And it was like, it was perfect. It was like, CJ it is. So yes, CJ is short for China Jade Restaurant here. And that's my story, and that's what I'm sticking to it, So I hope you enjoyed that story. As happy you're with your little buddy, be assured CJ enjoyed every second. I hope he did. We try to, so we don't have kids, and so we have dogs, and so we just want them to be happy. Like people with their kids, they want to see their kids playing and happy. Well, we want to see him playing and being happy, and so I thought we did that with him the best we could. Um, I have Chorus. I do have it. Last summer during the Steam sale, they had a ton of space games on sale for like, I don't know, between $5, $10, $15, $20. I picked up a ton of them because I wanted a space game. And Chorus was one I think I don't know, get the demo or whatever it was, but it was not bad. It was not bad. You played the demo and it made you want to throw up, made you dizzy. Yeah. Um, I think I got it, and I think I had the same issue. Like I played it for a while. I was like, oh, this is great, so I'll buy it. And then I was like, yeah, it's not so good. But I bought 4 or 5 space games like that to fly spaceships around, and Chorus was one of them. I do have that. AP says the basketball game is good, so he's talking about the drive, the baseline basketball, I think it was called. I use Excel Helpers, which makes the setup easy. It took about 10 minutes to complete a game. Oh, fantastic. I'm going to have to check that out. Hang on one second. You know what's interesting? Over here I have a little, I don't know what that called. It's not a towel. It's like a little flag, Angry Birds flag. It's not really a flag, but it's a big Angry Birds thing that I have hanging up over here. And it just reminded me that I saw a YouTube video about Angry Birds and how the downfall of Angry Birds and the company Rovio, how it come out of nowhere and they were a big hit and they were making all this money with Angry Birds. And then they come up with the movies and a few other things and toys and it just fell apart. And then they started coming up with like new versions of Angry Birds and nobody would nobody would play it. And then you couldn't buy the original Angry Birds. They hid it in the App Store, like they took it off the App Store, so you couldn't find Angry Birds, and you had to buy the newer games that were more expensive, and that was the downfall of Angry Birds. But I still enjoyed that game. I don't know if they have it on Steam or not, but that was such a fun game. Angry Birds was so fun, but the downfall of it was interesting. Let's see, back to the chat here. Let's see. And the golf club and Oculus. Yeah, I mean, I can't do VR. Um, all right, thanks for coming by, banking. Yeah, we're just kind of just chit chatting here late night here. But thanks for coming by. Um, the we went to PAX in Boston and the video game thing, and that's when the VR was just coming out. And so the media, I was part of the media. We got to go in early on a Saturday. So we got the first hour to the floor to ourselves, just the media, which is probably a couple hundred people. And then thousands of people come flooding through the door, and then you were in line for everything. So we made a plan. We said, okay, you're going to go here, you're going to go here, you're going to go here. So we could, get the big games first. We didn't have to wait in line. So I went and I tried the VR. There was one VR thing. So I went and I got it, and they said, okay, if you get sick or anything, just raise your hand and we'll come over. So I sit down and I put the VR glasses on. It was kind of awkward and a whole bit. And I think you had to control it too. And I was in a mech. And I remember putting on the VR glass, and you sat down and you put on the VR glasses, and it was really cool at first. Like you looked around and you were in this big hangar. And you could see people walking by with clipboards and people like welding stuff. And so you were sitting here looking around. It was really cool. And then you slid into the cockpit and then and come down. I was like, okay, this is kind of neat. And then you went up. And I'm like, so I'm looking around while I'm going up, in the game. And I was like, okay. And then you get up the top and it was like, go fight the other mechs. And as soon as I started walking forward and looking around, I lasted 2 seconds. Said, come get me. And I shut my eyes and they took the thing off. I can't do it. and I never could do VR. Never could do it. There was one game I played. My buddy had it for the PS4, and there was one game that was kind of fun. It was a soccer, not a soccer. It was you were in a tunnel, and there was this ball, like a volleyball, and you would hit it down the end of the tunnel. It's like pong, and then they would hit it back, but you had to like hit it with your head. So you would see the ball coming, and you would move, and you would head it back, and I was getting good at it because I wasn't moving anywhere. It was all stationary, and I was having fun. And then you could hit it, and you could put a spin on it and stuff like that. So you're basically playing pong with your head, and I enjoyed that, and I didn't get sick at that. But anytime there's any other movement in the game, I couldn't do it. Like I can't go up and down. I can't go left and right. It's way too much for me. So I can't do the VR. And my friends got a hockey game. So, I should play the hockey game in VR. No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't even play first-person games anymore because I get sick. And I used to love first-person games, and now I have to put them in third-person because I will throw up. I'll get motion sickness. It's pretty bad. Most gamers exclusively loyal to certain games. You'll get your share of snobs. Yeah, and that's in everything, though. Thanks for coming, Vive in. We'll be in touch, I'm sure. And, we're going to be wrapping up soon. So, thanks for coming by. I got a busy week here. Yeah, like the 10-gallon Hannah. I got such a busy week here. I get games Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you probably won't hear from me. We're going to record tomorrow, I hope, and then you probably won't hear from me for a while. I might try to slip in a Wednesday night, depending how quick the Wednesday game goes. But it's just going to be nuts coming up here. But yeah, you get your loyalists to any game. But it's video game, like I say, there was Xbox people that hated the PlayStation people and vice versa. And the same in our community. You got people that just love a game so much that they want you to like it too. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you and you can't like this other game. So that's that. And Barbara's like the Monster Hunter Wilds. I haven't tried that. Carrie says he's got 2 seasons of Hockey Bones to laminate and cut out. You know what I actually did with the Hockey Bones? I buy them from drive-thru. In fact, I got to get the new WHA season. That's on my list to get. And there's a couple other games I'm picking up from drive-thru too. I got a whole bunch of stuff in my cart, like these little $5, $10, $20 games that you can play on the tabletop. So I want to get some of those. And then they're non-sports games, and I wanted some fun with it. But yeah, the Hockey Bones, I bought a couple PDFs, and then I said, no, I'm gonna buy the cards because they're just so much better on drive-thru. They really are. I had a friend of mine at a print shop, and I bought one of the new seasons PDF, and I went into the print shop, and I was like, hey, can you print these for me and cut them out and make them look like this? He's like, yeah. No, they couldn't put the logo on the back, but so they were just blank on the back. But and they weren't quite as good as drive-thru, but they were almost half price from what drive-thru charges. And when I gave him the PDF, and he couldn't quite get them to line up perfectly like the drive-thru ones, but he was pretty close. And I did a couple seasons like that, and then I don't think he wanted to do them anymore because then it was like, yeah, when I get to it, I get to it type of thing, Oh, does anyone else, Brian asks, find themselves taking a deep breath before rolling the dice or flipping the card in those tense moments of your game? Oh, yeah. All the time. Yeah, and like Rob says, all the time. That last football game I played with the Oilers and the Jets, when I had the ball at the 1 yard line and Stabler dumped it off to the running back, and I rolled the dice, and it was like touchdown penalty. So you went 99 yards for the touchdown, but flag on the play, and I'm rolling the dice. And if it's on the offense, it comes back. If it's on the defense, it stands. And that was a tense moment. And it was on the offense and we pulled it back. But how cool that would have been, And another tense moment in Apple football was the Patriots-Raiders game, the Snow Bowl, tuck rule. 4th and goal from the 4. 16 seconds left, something like that. So Pats had to score. Right, they were down by a touchdown to Oakland. This is it. And I roll the dice, and it says Brady has to scramble. So I roll on Brady's card for the scramble, and it says fumble. So I'm thinking game's over, right? Tuck rule, game's over. And when I rolled on the fumble chart, it said that whoever had the ball went 5 yards and then fumbles. And it's recovered by the defense, I think. Well, according to game rules, and a lot of games do this, if you cross the goal line, it's a touchdown. There's no fumble. So I needed 4 yards. I got 5. So Brady scrambled, dove into the end zone. And as he's going across, after he crossed the plane, he got hit and fumbled. But the touchdown stood because that's the rule. So I've had that hold the breath moment. Oh, what's this fumble going to be? And he got the touchdown. So many fun moments like that, you know. I would love to play 92. You know what I did with Football Mogul? I started playing 93 with Football Moguls, the Oilers, to see how they would respond the next year. And I haven't gone back to it, but I still have that. You like the Dungeon Master comparison? Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, we played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. We played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. I mean, you know, we had sheets of paper with all the gear that we had, and you could use any piece of gear at any time. So we had like 37 swords and 27 shields and 25 pairs of boots, and you know, it's obviously not how the game plays because you only can carry so much. But when we played, it's just everything went, and we just walked around and just, you know, opened the book. Who are we going to fight next? Oh, we're going to fight a dragon. All right, let's kill the dragon, you know. But yeah, when you're playing cards and dice, it's your way, it's your rules, and that's what I love about the Apple football game. Is I play the basic game mostly. I have sprinkled in a couple of the master stuff, but then I play some things either my way or the way I found on the Ogard site. There's a couple of charts that they got a ways to play, and it's like that's fantastic. I love that, and it makes my game better. And you know, sometimes you can't do that in a computer game. Leaning forward on the chair. Yep. Currently figuring the best way to play APA. There's all well, again, when you put it on the table, there's so many ways you can play it, you know. And I just start off with basic, no matter what game it is. Start off with basic, just get it going, and then from there you can kind of add things if you want. Just doing basic, keep it super basic. If you get my drift, yeah. I think I don't know if you're talking baseball or not. I forget what we're talking about here, but baseball app is fun. It's simple. It's easy. I love that game. It plays so fast. It's so fun. I love it. I do. I like the master game too, but the basic game is super fun as well. I don't regret playing either one. Yeah, John. Yeah, 90 years old, and she's still getting around. I mean, she's got the walker and stuff, and she's you know, body's doing what 90-year-old bodies do. But you know, she recognizes people. She talks to people. She, you know, doing her thing today. Gets in and out of the car, and so she just, you know. Yeah, I don't like those bright ones either. I like a lot of crazy jerseys, but that's not that. Not for me. You like the CJ story? Yeah, that was a funny story. And true story. They brought him back, and there's pictures of him trying to get over the curb, and they had to go pick him up in China. And there's a picture of one of her relatives in China with him on a towel in the lap, with their feed him with a baby bottle. So yeah, he wasn't going to be lasting long outside by himself as a puppy, so he got nursed back to health and brought him here. And his you know, I still get pictures. It meant 14 years ago. I still get pictures of him somewhere. I don't know if it's on Facebook or, you know, on the phone or on the cloud somewhere. Of, you know, him as a puppy. He was a cute puppy, really was. And yeah, and so that, yeah, we think about the good times. Think about the good times. BR comes by. Thanks for coming by. Omni One by Vertex is a really good. Is that a VR? Yeah, I can't handle VR. Treadmill? No, can't do it. I can't do any VR. Steve's football game recently that ended at the end of the game chaos was a YouTube highlight. I haven't seen that yet. Some of that end of the game stuff that Play does is really good. That's why I do like games that have rare plays, because it really does. It fills in the cracks or the gaps from just a regular ball game. And you know what I mean? Because you know, let's just say you play 5 or 10 games and you have fun, and then game 11, you get a rare play and something odd happens. That's what makes the other 5 or 10 games special, because it didn't happen. and you don't want it happening all the time. But once in a while, you get something weird to happen, and it's like it's a little spice. It's a little spice in the on the chili. It's like, ooh, you take a bite of the chili. Oh, that's something else, you know. So you like to have that once in a while. All the time, it's too much. But once in a while, it's nice, you know. And midlife is kind of pissed off because the Cinderella Colts will play the Bengals in round one and probably get smoked. Curb jumper. He could stand for curb jumper. Yep. They sent me the video like when we first got him. Like, you ever see the videos of CJ? And it's like they're walking along. It's like, where's CJ? And he's like, "Meep, meep, meep, meep." He didn't. He was so small he couldn't jump over the curb. So they went and they got him in the whole bit. But yeah, he was probably underweight, and they fed him and got him back to health. And you know the rest is history. You know, the rest is history with him. And now it's a chapter in our life. And now I don't know what we're gonna do. She's like, no more dogs, and I'm like, probably, but let's give it some time. Let's only just deal with the one little dog that we got there. That's plenty for right now, and maybe that'll give us some time when I'm done my busy season to go do some things and not worry about a dog sitter, or at least for him, before we go and commit to anything else. And let's see how we do, because we're getting older and our health is failing too, so we got to take care of ourselves. And so right about the occasional spice. Yeah, some people hate the rare plays. Again, the purists don't like the rare plays. They like it like this, and that's that. But for myself, when I talk about season ticket, I think they have the best rare plays. Season ticket baseball, I think, has the best rare plays. And I got the Ron Say inside the park home run on a rare play. And it wouldn't happen normally. Inside the park home run for Ron Say is not going to happen unless it's a rare play. And that would never happen. It's a rare play. That's the idea behind rare play, is that it's not going to happen, except if it's a rare play. And that's what makes it fun. And I talk about that all the time. And if I didn't get that, then I wouldn't talk about it. But I did, and I enjoyed it, and it was fun. It made the game fun. It was spice. It was different. It was really cool that it happened. It really was. It was really super cool that happened in my game. And it could have been anybody at the plate. And I still had to roll to see if he scored, because he got 3, and you could try for the extra base. And I said, what the heck? What am I going to lose? Let's try for it. I'm not going to hold him at third. I'm going to go for it. Something to talk about. And I rolled and I got it. And I was like, yep. Yeah. Rare play. It's rare, right? It doesn't happen all the time. It's a rare play. It happens once in a while. The Apple hockey, I'm not too crazy about their rare plays. I try to come up with my own. It wasn't easy. I come up with like 15 of them. But it's hard to not make everything an automatic goal either, or an automatic penalty or something like that. The rare plays are not easy. The Apple football, the master game has rare plays. I got to say I like them. I got to say more often than not, I do like the rare plays in Apple football. I suppose you could come up with your own rare plays too. Season ticket football, not season ticket. Second season's got rare plays too. And so those work out well. I've enjoyed some of them. It really is. Yeah. What was it? Was it Baltimore that they had the plane crash into the upper deck? Yeah. There used to be a joke before that, and now you can't tell this joke anymore because it's the plane did crash into the ball stadium. But there used to be jokes about certain teams that were either football or baseball teams, and you'd say you could crash a plane into the stadium and you wouldn't hurt anyone because there was not enough people at the game. That used to be a running joke, but then when that happened and a few other things happened, you can't make that joke anymore because it's just like it did happen and people did get hurt. So and hockey games suspended due to fog. Yeah, see, that's the one kind of rare play that I don't like. When it's like games rained out or games canceled. I don't play these games to cancel them. That's one thing I don't like about a rare play. I want a rare play to be something rare, something that has happened in a game. It doesn't have to be something that happened once in a lifetime. It can be something that happens somewhat consistently, but you don't want it in every game, so it's not in the main rule book. But there's got to be things that make it interesting. Like one of the things I think when I was doing the Apple hockey rare plays, it's like player dumps it in and hits the glass, and heads toward the empty net because the goalie was going behind the net to stop it, roll to see if he makes the save. Something like that. So a chance for a goal or a chance for something crazy. What I really do like is what game is it? Shootout? At the shootout has a rare play that you score back-to-back goals in 10 seconds apart. It's a rare play in shootout. So if you get a rare play, then you flip or you roll that rare play. It's like the best roll in the game. It's like, you roll for, I don't know if it's roll for goal scorer or your top goal scorer, so it scores 2 goals 10 seconds apart. That's fantastic. It really is. And then I think in Shootout Easy, is it Shootout Easy? I think Shootout Easy, there's a rare play. I think that's the game that in the third period, your team scores as many goals as you need to either tie the game or win by 1 or go ahead by 1. That's another neat one too. That's like, it's completely rare and it's one of the super hard ones to get, but your team scores as many goals as you need to either tie the game or go up by 1 as a rare play. So it's just a goal flurry is what it is. So I like them, A blimp was hijacked and crashed into the Super Bowl. That's pretty rare. What was the name of it? Was that Black Sunday? Was that the name of that movie, Black Sunday? Now I feel like Al Red Sox fan talking about old movies. Black Sunday, I think it was. Pitcher struck by lightning. Somehow he's okay. Will continue to pitch. Increase his grade by 2 for the rest of the inning. Yeah. See, he's all like charged up, right? He's like Godzilla getting struck by the lightning. Or was it the King Kong getting struck by lightning and getting all charged up, So, yeah, fun times there. All right, folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I didn't think I'd be on this long, but I wanted to come on tonight and just say hi, see what's going on. Kind of therapy for myself, kind of talking some things out here is a little bit, what I did this for too. Get me over the hump of the weekend here. Very, very quiet and lonely house now without my buddy here. It's just different, and we're trying to deal with it the best we can. But, yeah, that's that. Good chat with everybody. We had a good chat about a lot of different things tonight. So thanks to everybody that stopped by and was part of this here and kind of keeps the community going because that's what we enjoy doing. Again, maybe Wednesday night. I get to work Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday afternoon. So maybe a Wednesday night. Although I think Juckett said he's on Wednesday night, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because the end of my week is nuts with all my regular leagues plus all the playoff games I'm doing. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully, I keep saying this, that, hopefully things will lighten up, and I'm going to be playing a ton of games. I am. I'm going to be playing the Bones and Napa Hockey, Napa Football, Napa Baseball. We'll get the Master game back here. Try some different games out. I want to get second season football back here and Pro Solitaire Pro Football. I want to get Grant Fines on here, show me his hockey game, and get some people on here as well. I'm going to get Michael C. to show me how to play Dynasty League Baseball online. All kinds of fun things coming up here on the channel this spring. So guests and developers and the whole bit. Plus D2Decon in May. Looking forward to that. Was it May 23rd or something like that? I don't remember the date now. It's how busy I've been, but that's coming up in May, so we should have a fun time with that. So that is that. I want to thank everybody tuning by. I got to show off my new Oilers hat, the Houston Oilers #1. And they don't even exist anymore. But they exist here on our tabletops, and they always will. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Dave. You guys have a great night. Bye-bye.